the little gecko you helped me score for my kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to spend 2.5, maybe 3 hours this morning looking for it. We found
out?
him. He got out.
Out inside the house or outside?
He was inside the house.
I guess outside you would have never found him, huh?
Fuck no.
Is he cool though? Did he bite you yet?
He will bite.
He
gives you like a really good warning though. Kind of like
cool.
Actually, the gecko kind of makes that noise a little bit.
It makes the same noise as Zach.
It just did. That's fucking funny.
All right. Well, that's good. What colors does it change to?
Oh, it's yellow and blue. It switches to like greens and reds. It's crazy looking.
Is Canyon stoked on it?
It's kind of mean. It's kind of a mean gecko. Like they're known for being kind of mean.
Yeah.
And he likes that about it.
Should we get it like a spiked collar? That'd be sick.
Yes.
We should. Can you train a gecko?
Nope.
It'd be cool if we could train it to attack.
You could try.
Yeah, I think we should try to
get
train
some
it to
flies.
If anybody could train it, I think Canyon could train it.
I mean, he's already been trying to train that little gecko. So
yeah.
But I was thinking about you this morning when I was had my flashlight out and I was looking under fucking everything, trying to find that.
Thanks, bro.
Like, thanks, Steve. Thanks for the gecko.
Well, you
know,
the
worst thing to lose. It's camouflage.
It's like herpes. It's the gift that keeps giving.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah. My herpes friend.
And welcome to Oil and Ink Podcast. And this is how it goes.
This is what we do.
So,
nice.
Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're here. Brian.
We'll probably forget to. I'm going to do it right now. Mike's Instagram handle. What is it?
Let me look. Hang on.
It's either at Mike McAskill Tattoo or Tattoos.
Mike McAskill. It might be Michael McAskill.
Michael.
Tattoos.
I like Michael McAskill.
Did you see it?
No, I just know it.
You know, you're a stalker.
Zach's a stalker.
No, you're right. You're right.
I know.
Okay, so say it.
At Mike McAskill Tattoo.
All
McAskill's hard to spell. So
it is.
You might want to spell it out for people.
McAskill.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like Castle. Castle.
McAskill.
I like that you're sitting here trying to figure out how to say your own name.
Yeah. Sometimes they call me McAsshole when I was younger, so.
We'll have to bring that back to the shop.
I would have put that as my Instagram name.
I probably should have.
Yeah, it'd be easier to remember.
Yeah.
Just go to McCastle. McCastle.
If you can't find Mike's
Castle.
Instagram, you can just go to the shop's website, Elizabeth Street
Tattoo.
in Riverside.
Yep.
Or
You'll
the shop's
find us.
Instagram, EST Riverside.
Even easier.
Yeah. Good thing Zach got a microphone.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. We need him.
It's weird, though, when he chimes in because he's behind me, and I'm like, man, is this the Lord?
It's perfect for me.
Oh, you can
because I can see the weird shit he's doing to you.
Is he trying to hump me?
Turn the fuck around.
Turn around, you bitch.
Jesus.
Man, so Elizabeth Street has been around this area for a long time.
So that's what we're here for, right? This is the first of many podcasts. We're going to kind of go through the history of Elizabeth Street.
Okay.
And we
just Elizabeth Street?
No, just like what
its origin story.
Yeah, it's origin story.
This is like X-Men 1.
Okay.
So we want to get through we're going to start the origin story right now. You know, we heard you've been with the shop for a long time.
Yeah.
How long you been with the shop?
How
long you been tattooing in general?
I started, professionally, I started tattooing in 2007.
What's amateur tattooing?
Like garage
what
tattoos.
You do?
Yes.
You know.
Yep.
Garage tattoos, no proper apprenticeship or anything like that. So I started doing that in like 2003, like fucking around with it.
Yep.
Messing around, and I quickly understood I didn't know what I was doing.
Yep.
And then I got an apprenticeship, which didn't end up well, and then I got another apprenticeship, which ended up pretty good.
I've heard that story a couple times where people end up getting more than one apprenticeship to find someone that.
Which is funny because there's so many people who complain that they can't find one. Like, you have to keep trying. Yep. I got turned down by so many of these people.
Explain that. So you. The first apprenticeship, is this somebody that you didn't know? Is it somebody that you had been working around? Or
no, I didn't know him. Uh-huh. It was a shop in Corona.
Okay.
I won't name the name.
Yeah, we don't got to.
But I
there wasn't very many shops in Corona in 2007, so we could figure this out.
Well, that one was earlier, so that one was maybe 2005.
Okay.
Maybe 2006.
Even less.
Yeah.
I went to the shop. I had to do a drawing to see if I could get the apprenticeship.
What do you mean a drawing? Oh,
Like,
a draw. Okay.
They had a bunch of flash.
I thought you meant like, drawing out of a bucket or
No,
something.
no.
Yeah, everybody
Like an
put a
actual
card in a
drawing.
hat.
A drawing, tattooing.
So they made me sit there and do the drawing,
Yep,
which
yep.
was easy. It was just an old Reaper,
Yep.
like a 80s flash or something like
Perfect.
that, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
super easy to draw.
Yeah.
And drew it up. They're like, sweet, you'll start Monday. You got to be here X amount of time. You're not getting paid. You'll be our bitch, basically, which is, I fully understood it, didn't care.
Yeah, yeah.
But like the first 2 weeks I was there, they were like, it was full on hazing, but like to the upper degrees of it.
Was it like spanking you and stuff?
No, but they were like they would constantly just be like, "Hey, bitch, take out the fucking trash."
Just fully disrespectful.
like super disrespectful. And I'd be like, at first, the first week, I was like, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
this is fine.
Fuck, I'm not prospecting here.
Yeah. But then like, if I did something wrong, like, because I didn't know what I was doing, like if I cleaned up a station wrong or
Yeah.
something, like it would be like a berating, like. To where I played sports growing up, so I was used to like a coach yelling at me or somebody yelling. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But this was like disrespectful. And I kept taking it. They made me put like a trash can on my head, and I'd walk through the shop and they'd slap the trash can, and I'd be like, well, that's whatever too.
I mean, there's a point, there's a degree of hazing that can go on in a lot of different worlds, and it can be justified.
Yeah.
But a lot of times in the tattoo world, like, you're not trying to build someone that's tough. Like, you're not in special forces in the
This
military.
isn't a fraternity.
No.
Yeah, we're trying to build the artists.
Yeah,
for the clients.
No, it
and
makes
so,
more sense.
like, I see that stuff go on usually by, I don't know what the right word is, not immature tattooers, but
shitty tattooers.
shitty tattooers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like good tattooers don't want to put trash cans on people's heads and do that
No.
stupid shit. That's not what you're in it for. And so there's usually like an ego trip going on there where they're not that good of tattooers in the first place.
Yeah.
And so they treat this new guy who wants to get into the industry like crap, to make their egos.
It does
fucking get
sound
bigger.
really weird.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like an apprenticeship.
No, I wasn't.
But it's been common in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s.
I can understand that in the 80s and 90s more than the early 2000s, but
Yeah.
I guess in the early
I think
2000s,
I caught the
when
tail end of
that's
it.
what I was going to say, yeah.
Like,
All right, you want to know how my mentor got his apprenticeship? So we're talking the guy that taught me how to tattoo Don. He comes from back in like Long Beach, the Pike area,
Uh-huh.
and he tattooed out there. But when he was a kid, he'd go into the tattoo shop, get a tattoo, and one time he got the balls and courage. You're talking back in the '60s.
Yeah.
He got the courage to go in and like ask, and he's the guy that taught me how to tattoo is like a tough biker dude. So
Yeah.
he went in there and asked, for an apprenticeship, and they told him to fuck off. Just literally like that. Fuck off and get out of here.
Yeah.
And then he went back, a couple of weeks later, was like, hey, I still want to, and he could draw, and he would bring them drawings. And so there was a competitor's shop that had opened up in the same neighborhood. And so they told him he can get his apprenticeship if he'd take a gallon of gas and pour it underneath the door of that tattoo shop and set the tattoo shop on fire.
I fucking knew it was going to have to do with fire. I fucking knew it. As soon as he said there was a competitor's shop in the 60s,
You're all, fire.
Fire is involved.
Yeah, so he said he walked by there and spilt his drink on the ground to see if the water would run under the door, and it did.
Oh, God.
And he said he just came back with a gallon of gas and poured it on the door,
Shut the
set it
fuck
on
up.
fire, and got his tattoo apprenticeship.
nice.
So shit's changed.
Shit's
changed a lot.
It's a little different now.
They weren't assholes to him, though, once he got in there. He just had
Yeah.
to prove that he was down.
Yeah, it is still weird though. Like again, in such a even then in the early 2000s, I mean that would be like when the TV shows were all kicking off.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, this was all right before that.
right before.
My second apprenticeship, the good one,
Yep.
was when they just started kicking off.
Okay.
And those guys were super nice to me. There was still hazing, but it wasn't like the first place.
I think a little bit of like hazing and just just the common bullshit stuff that we all do.
Yeah.
Should be. It's a fun, right?
Right,
You're not.
fun.
I'm gonna go fucking kill your mother. You're not doing shit like
Yeah.
that. But like, hey, come on, dipshit. Fuck
Yeah,
whatever. But yeah, like that other stuff. It sounds a little too much.
Yeah.
So you ditched
I'm
that
not into
guy, you
that.
got a new
Well,
apprentice.
I
apprenticeship.
ditched them because the final straw was they had asked me at the end of it was like 2 weeks. It wasn't very long. They asked me if I wanted to smoke weed with them after work, and I was like, sweet, I'm in. And I had smoked a lot of weed back then. And shop closed down. went in the back room, and they're passing around a joint or a bowl or something, and it got to me. I hit it, came back around. They're like, "Okay, you pack it," and I was like, "Well, I didn't have any weed." I was like 18, 17, 18, and I didn't have any money, so I didn't have any weed.
Yep.
And
then,
at this point, weed wasn't legal either.
No, it was not. Yeah, but it was. I mean, if you get caught with weed back then, they would just make you stomp it.
Weed
out
was
or
still
whatever.
super easy to get.
Yeah, it was
then.
easy
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get,
yeah.
but so I got 5 of these dudes like surrounding me, like, "I'm gonna fuck you up if you don't bring us weed tomorrow. Bring us," and they like said, "Bring a bunch of fucking weed, and we're gonna fuck you up." And they were surrounding me, and I was like all paranoid because I was all high, and I left out of there, and I was like, "I'm never going back to that fucking place."
That's fucking wild.
It was weird. It was super weird. I
That doesn't sound like a fun environment at all. I mean, I wish you would have saw it through just to see what it was like after the apprenticeship was done.
none of those, dude. Half those guys were probably tweakers.
Oh yeah.
You know, and,
Yeah.
and none of them were good.
Yeah.
I already, like, when I drew the Reaper, they were like, "Oh wow, that was amazing." My drawing skills weren't great back then.
Yeah.
But none of their, if I really think back, none of their tattoos were that good.
Yeah.
And I've never heard of any of them since.
You were just looking for a home.
I was looking for a home, and I had always heard it was hard to get into a shop. And I
Yeah.
got into a shop that was my first try for that shop.
Gotcha.
So then I went to a bunch of different shops afterwards, and they would say the same thing: "Fuck off, get the fuck out of here. You'll never tattoo or whatever."
Wow.
And then I found Brant Van at Tattoo Revolution, and I asked him twice, I think. On the second time, he agreed to it. But my buddy had got a sleeve from him that was like a really good sleeve.
So, like, when you approached him to ask him, did you already have like a camaraderie with him because of your buddy, or are you just going in there blind and saying, "Hey, my name's spelt weird. Can I have an apprenticeship?"
I was, my buddy had got a full sleeve from him, and
Yep.
I asked him if I could go with him
Gotcha.
to get tattooed.
Yep.
And Brent basically ignored me on the first one, which is pretty standard if you
Yeah,
think
he don't know
about
you.
it. You know?
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
there
yeah.
to work. Yeah,
But
he
I was
doesn't
asking
try
him
to entertain
questions.
guests.
I might have been a little too question-asky, you know.
Yeah,
But the second time, he's like, "All right, well," you know, he had a thing, what I was responsible for, all that shit. So I didn't really know him that well.
Yeah.
But when he let me in, I got to know him a little bit more. But it ended up being pretty good.
And at the same time, though, you're already garage tattooing also.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
had
you already
done
have
a few. I hadn't
few,
done a
gotcha.
ton, and
Gotcha.
I didn't tell them that
Gotcha,
because
yeah, that's-
That'll
like
get you kicked right out.
That's a
Yeah.
bad
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you already have all the bad habits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad habits, and like you think when you're young and you tattoo, all your homies are like, "That's amazing.
you're the best."
Yeah. But if you actually get out there and see what good stuff is, you're like
yeah.
dog shit.
Dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the best in 1982.
Maybe.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
still guys that were good back then too.
Yeah, it's crazy to see. Like, I still have old tattoo magazines from like the 90s, from when, like I was in high school and stuff. And it's crazy to see how it's gone. Even since the 90s, which is not that long ago anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Compared to like the 60s, 70s, like tattooing. I mean, from the 90s to now, it just completely revolutionized itself. You know, in the
Yep, it's
quality of
different-
art.
Different. It's a different space now.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild. So how long did you have to apprentice for?
I did. I almost lasted a year. It was a year apprenticeship, but towards the very end of it, it's maybe 10 months, 11 months, my appendix burst, and I didn't have health insurance.
Yep.
And my surgery was like $50,000 or something. And
Yep.
I got a big old bill, and I had to move to live in Georgia where my parents had moved.
So they said they couldn't find you to pay the bill.
No, I paid it. Yeah.
Just ditched out, and they can't never gonna
Well,
find me in Georgia.
I paid it in 2009.
Paid it in 47 installments.
No. So when the crash hit,
Yep.
nobody was paying their bills.
Oh yeah.
So I settled
Oh,
for like 10 grand flat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's smart.
I called him. I was like, "What do you settle for?"
Yeah.
I said, "I have $10,000."
Hey, remember me?
And they settled it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's smart.
Yeah.
That was probably the best thing out of the crash for you.
Yeah. It worked out.
Yeah. So how long were you in Georgia for?
Less than a year. Also.
Were you out there tattooing?
My first job I got there was a Kirby vacuum salesman.
I did that.
That was horrific.
Wait,
I did that.
You
What?
both
Did
sold
you go
vacuum
door to
cleaners?
door?
No, I never made it that far.
Oh,
What do you mean? Then
dude.
how were you selling them?
Well, because my mom yelled at me. I had this really rough summer where I got fired and we were just doing like a lot of coke and still living at home, you know? And then she's like, you need to get a fucking job. And I came home with a Kirby vacuum.
Yeah.
And she's like, what the fuck?
You never got that far?
No, I never
It's
went door to
fucked
door.
up.
Oh, I'm sure.
So
Those vacuums are amazing, though.
they're spectacular. I still can't afford
product
one,
sells
I don't
itself.
think. They're so expensive. But
Fuck, now I want a Kirby
there was
vacuum
an
cleaner.
ad.
I'm telling you, bro.
They're amazing. They really are.
Yeah.
One day I will buy one.
Yeah, 100%.
There was an ad in the paper that said $900 a week guaranteed.
It's too good.
So I don't know. Did you see that ad?
I don't even remember how it happened. It was like me and a couple buddies. We were fucking really stupid.
That's amazing. I never heard of anybody else
No, me
getting
neither.
that job.
No.
It's
So-
an anomaly.
The whole thing, the only way you get paid is if you do 12 shows a week.
Yeah.
And that's 12 people have to let you in their home and do a show. So you bring your stupid
I
fucking
love that it's called a show.
It is, yeah. You bring your stupid expensive ass vacuum.
Get these
That's
little
awesome.
filter pads that they put in to show how much you're sucking in and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a
you
trip.
spill shit on their carpet.
Yeah.
You clean it up.
Hey Zach, can you save me right now? I'm like trapped between two fucking vacuum salesmen. that
Dude.
are getting all
Sounds
pumped
like,
on
sounds
the.
It's
like a lot of
fucked up.
sucking.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way to make money doing that. This isn't 1950.
No.
I love that I'm learning this right now.
I've never met anybody else that ever did this before.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's a
did you
trip.
get any
So it's
shows?
like, no.
We just became best friends.
Nobody let me in their house.
I'm getting kicked off.
So I had to quit because I lasted
wouldn't
another
let your ass in my
maybe
house.
2 weeks. I had to wear a tie and a fucking
Oh, yeah.
suit and everything.
I already had a sleeve, too. It wasn't a good idea for me to do this.
Yeah, I had one sleeve.
Yeah. It's not a...
But
that-
I didn't
that-
have. I had a button-up shirt on, so it was
Okay.
covered.
Yeah. Shoot, I'm trying to think. This had to be 03, 04, I think, when I tried to do that.
Yeah.
I
This
mean,
is like end of 07.
Yeah, it wasn't a good idea.
Yeah,
I would buy one. I would totally buy one. Smokes a Dyson.
it does.
Fucks a Dyson.
They're spectacular,
Calling in for Zach again. Calling in for Zach.
dude. You need a Kirby vacuum.
We might need to
I'll
get back
fucking
on it.
buy
I think we're
one.
selling them now.
Hey, Kirby.
We'll
I
one
need
for
that
the-
900
We'll get one
bucks a
for the
week.
shop when we get the podcasting studio set.
Yeah.
up there. We're
Yeah,
gonna have
yeah.
carpet.
Oh yeah, you
Dude,
got
you had to take like a house plant and pour it on their fucking white carpet and clean it up, but it would get everything.
Dude, and they're heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
It's in like in a case. You had to take this vacuum into people's houses.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't make it. that
Nobody let me in their house.
All right, so
How many did
that
you-
job didn't last too long,
No.
and then
And then I got
fucking moving right along.
and then I got a job at Marie Callender's.
far. Oh wow.
And then I quit this next day because I asked how much I was making hourly.
You didn't ask that before you got hired.
No, I needed a job.
Yeah. Sometimes
And-
you just gotta do
Yeah, I
it.
guess you just say yes. then.
In Georgia at the time, it was only $2.50 an hour.
Holy
Because
shit.
you live off your tips.
Damn,
And so I quit that as soon as I found out. I was like, I could find that in quarters on the street.
I can't
Yeah.
even show a
Fuck
vacuum.
this.
I can't-
I'm gonna die here.
And then a tattoo shop had just opened up, or they were opening up, and randomly my mom ran into some dude at a grocery store, and I think she had a tattoo from me, and he saw it. He's a big old Southern
Yeah.
biker dude,
Yeah.
and his name was Jerry Potter, and she got in, somehow they had a conversation, and then she's like, a shop open, you need to go down there. And I went down there, I got hired immediately.
That's good parenting right there.
Yeah.
That's good parenting.
Your family supported your tattooing.
My mom fucking loves tattoos.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, my mom has like 2.
My mom also loves tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you started there. How long were
Started
you there for?
I was there for also less than a year. But at that shop, I got so much experience
Yeah.
because I had a proper apprenticeship before I went from out here in California
Yeah.
at that time, or New York were probably
The
like-
Meccas.
It's still like that.
yeah.
It is still like that.
I mean, you got your outliers that
there's
Still amazing people everywhere.
There is. I
but like-
travel a lot through
Yeah.
this country for what I do with the motorcycle stuff. And so I go to all the places, like all, and when we travel, we drive and motorhome and stuff. So I'm always through like shops and restaurants and stuff. These people in this middle states, their tattoos are fucking terrible.
Collectively, I'm saying.
Yes.
California.
Not saying there's not amazing artists in those locations.
Yeah.
But the consensus is not like in California.
There's more competition.
Yeah, you're going to run
here
it.
or in New York.
Yeah, in California, I mean, you could throw a rock and hit a phenomenal shot.
Yeah.
And it's just not like that. But that has to do with a lot of things in California as well,
But this was also some like podunk town.
Where in Georgia?
I've
never been to Georgia. I'm just curious.
It's like northeastern Georgia.
Gotcha.
So it's Gainesville, Georgia.
Okay, I've heard of Gainesville.
Yeah. So my mom lives in Winder.
Okay.
But no, she lived in Talmo at the time, which is an even smaller place. But I was automatically like one of the better artists in the area at the time.
Yep.
And I was just fucking taking walk-ins all day, every day. I'd do like 10 a day. And
so what year is this now? We're what, like 2007, 8?
It was end of 07 into 08.
Okay.
Because I believe I came to his shop in March of 08.
Yeah.
So are you originally from California?
Mm-hmm.
And your mom moved to Georgia?
My mom and my dad moved to Georgia.
Gotcha.
And I just stayed back.
Yep.
And my brother and my sisters moved with them. Me and my older brother stayed in California.
Gotcha.
But my brother's off.
Don't even try to figure out Mike's family.
There's too much.
Yeah.
It's way too much.
That's good though.
You don't have a whole brother or sister, right? You have half. Half sister.
I have half.
You just mash a couple of them together. Boom,
I have
one whole one.
I
good at
have
math
4
too.
half siblings. 4.
Yeah.
I have 2 stepbrothers, but we met when we're like little kids, so they're
your brothers. Yeah.
my brothers, and then I have 1 full sister, and then I'm sure there's multiple other ones out there.
Just the ones you don't even know about.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Whatever.
Yeah.
So 07, you're in Georgia tattooing. What?
And also, my timelines might be a little fucked up.
We'll just call it 07. Fuck it. Nobody's going to check this. I don't think we're going to get fact checked.
Can't. There's nothing to check.
Yeah.
There's
nowhere to check.
There's no
all the records were deleted.
This is before the internet.
Yeah. You're doing walk-ins all day long. Now, what would be like the standard walk-in or like the most popular, like 07?
Nautical Stars.
Still, I was just going to say that'd be like one of the popular ones for California. It's the same.
It was everywhere.
No shit.
Nautical Stars, Live, Laugh, Love, Infinities were still around.
Yeah.
Names standard.
Yeah, of course.
Lot of Tribal.
A lot of tribal.
A lot of armbands.
Yeah.
Oh man, armbands were fucking so big for a while. I fucking hate doing a tribal
lower back tattoos.
A lot of
back
tramp
tattoos.
stamps.
Tramp stamps.
Those are rough.
And when the mommy makeovers were first starting, they would get the big scar.
Oh yeah,
huge one.
Yeah.
We would tattoo the fuck out of those.
Oh yeah.
Another
every
terrible job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Yeah.
What else was big back then? Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, that sounds about.
Oh, Georgia Bulldog.
Oh, okay.
I did so many Georgia.
Did you guys have
Gs.
Cherry Creek Flash out there?
Mm-hmm.
So for you guys that know what Cherry Creek Flash is, or just Google it, all that kind of.
What it is, yeah.
It's just
I'm sure I've seen it.
style of
just
early
not,
2000s tattooing.
I did that one cross 1,000 times.
Yeah, lots of tramp stamps in that collection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then you came. Why did you come back to California?
I got fired
From the tattoo shop.
Yeah.
From this shop.
Yeah.
Why'd you get fired? Let's get into this.
The owner and his wife were
Interesting.
kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And the wife hated that I was from California. So every day she'd be like, "You got a fucking California attitude. Fuck you." And I'd be like, "What?" Like,
I said
I'm
fucking
just
good
here-
morning.
I'm just here to make money. Like,
You're all, dude.
yeah. There's a lot of stuff that they did that I was just like, oh my God, these people are nuts. But the guy who owned it was relatively nice, but he was a little out there here and there. But he pulled me aside one day and goes, "Hey, I gotta tell you to quit for like 2 months. Just take 2 months off." I was like, "I can't afford 2 months." I was like, "If you tell me I have to leave for 2 months, I'm leaving."
Yeah.
And back then I would just like, at the drop of a dime, I would just do things. Like my first thought, I would just do it. So he told me to quit. I was like, fuck you, I'm out. Bye. And then I left. I got in my car and I fucking drove back to California.
Just like that.
That day I had $350.
Wow. That just tells you how cheap gas was then.
I've known Mike for a while, and I thought I knew all of his jobs.
Yeah.
But I'm still tripping on the vacuum cleaner salesman because I haven't heard that.
Oh, yeah.
He's worked at a lumber yard.
Yeah, I
He's
love
worked
that
as a
job.
car detailer.
I don't even think
Hate
my
that
wife
job.
knows about that job for me either. That's not something people normally talk about.
No.
We're kind of in a select club.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of
Kirby
a fraternity.
vacuums. Yeah. You got to know. You got to be in the
I don't
know.
want to have to show you my Kirby tattoo.
Do you know how many jobs you've had? Is it kind of like Zach's motorcycle collection?
It's probably.
You've had like 32 jobs.
I've had too many jobs.
That's crazy.
Because I started working at like 15, and I was the same way. Like, if somebody told me what to do, I was just like, well, fuck you. I'll go get another one. And I quit that day.
Yeah.
And I never give him my 2 weeks. It was...
Tattooing was for you.
That's why my mom pushed me towards tattooing, because she'd be like, dude, you got to do something that you don't
About
have.
that California
you don't
attitude.
have a boss. Yeah. You don't need a boss because you got issues.
Mike,
Some people can't have bosses. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, I don't feel.
Yeah.
a lot of that stems from
Skateboarding.
yes.
Yeah.
Don't forget to address that.
Yeah. I grew up skateboarding with Zach.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. The plot thickens.
Yeah.
So
breaking in shit.
So you're a
a
Riverside local?
I was from Corona,
Okay.
but he would come down. Like, I remember the day I first met him. Santana Park. He showed up and he looked like the singer from
Newfound Glory.
Newfound Glory. And I was like, is that the singer from Newfound Glory?
Look at his
Skating
autograph.
like that? Because this fool would float. And I'd be like, and I don't remember what we said to each other, but we had mutual respect because we could both skate.
Yeah.
So, and somehow along the way, we ended up he would come to the park, we'd skate. I'd skate with him and Ian, these Riverside kids that would come over.
Yep.
And then down the line, we started working together, which was small world kind of.
Yeah, it's a trip. So
Did you know Zach was trying to get into Elizabeth Street?
Yeah.
Before? Okay.
Yeah.
So then you...
I don't know
That's
how.
what-
It
I
was
think so.
something over
Yeah.
Facebook, Zach, right?
MySpace probably.
No,
Nice.
how it all happened was you hit me up because Brian was doing that art show in downtown Riverside.
Slid
and
into
you
the
guys
DMs?
wanted to paint skateboards.
Yeah. And I needed decks, right?
So you needed boards, and so I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is I'm getting my fucking feet wet this time.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened. I took you guys down to BSA. BSA didn't have exactly what you're looking for. And I was like, well, I know a wood shop. I can go and get you the boards from the wood shop directly. It'll be a quarter the price, whatever. I went to the wood shop the next day. I got 10 boards. I brought them to the shop. And Brian was like, well, fuck, like just because of how efficient it was and everything. And then Brian was like, well, how much do I owe you? And I was like, I don't want anything. And you're like, well, let me tattoo you. And I was like, you can do whatever you want. And Brian jokingly said, well, let me tattoo your head. And I was like, you can do whatever you want. And you get this glazed over look and you go, whatever I want. And I go, yeah, whatever you want. You know, all right. And then I think I came back either that week or the week after. And you had like a handful of designs. And every tattoo on my head was one of those.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
And as I was
Sounds
getting my
right.
head tattooed, it felt like a job interview.
And then you've been there ever since?
Yeah.
All right. Well, just got Zach's backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's perfect. So then okay, now I'm trying to remember the timeline now.
Well,
You come back to
drove
California,
back,
yep.
yeah, and I didn't want to work at the other shop, Inkaholics,
Uh-huh.
and this is how stupid I was, because I saw on your website that you guys were all like hugging each other, and like all happy, and I was like, that's not a fucking tattoo shop. I'm not working there.
They're too fucking happy.
But little did I know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we were just being fucking ass clowns that day.
Yeah.
Well,
We
and
don't give a
also,
shit what
like-
anybody thinks about us.
But
so.
if you really think about it, that is the right way you should sell yourself to people who want tattoos. Like, it's not everybody needs to look like, I'm not like a hard dude either, but like
Yeah.
that was just my image and of a tattoo shop and why I think I wanted to be in tattoo shops at the time.
Hard ass pterodactyls.
Kinda,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Like, and it's just silly. It was a young guy.
Well,
thing,
it's
I
also
think.
perception. I mean, as we grew up and stuff, I mean, in the 90s and shit, fucking tattooing and like tattooers were hard motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like tattoos meant something too. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
it was different for sure than it is
was
now. Like the
different.
kids growing up in this now. I'll remember forget this. You know, I started getting tattooed when I was 17. So like that would be I graduated high school in 2000 and I turned 18 in 2000. So I started getting tattooed in 99. I had a full sleeve probably by 01. And I had this kid, I mean, this is more recent, like 4 years ago before we moved to this house. Some kid delivered pizza or whatever, and he's just fucking, you know, he got to be fucking 18 years old. Head's all blasted and shit, you know, and he's like, looks at me, he's like, oh man, cool work. And I'm like, thanks, you know, and it's like, this shit's 20 fucking years old, never been touched again, you know? And he's like, why don't you have like your head and face done? And I said, what?
Why?
Like,
Why do you?
What if I gotta get a job? You know, yeah. It was just it's cool how it's like more accepted now and everything. Like that's something everybody kind of wanted, but it's also weird because it's like weed for me still.
Yeah.
Like I don't really care. I don't give a fuck about weed. Like I don't care about it. Like I smoke it sometimes. I don't really smoke it a lot. You know. But it's like all the billboards and then having to explain to your kids and they're little like, this is weed, you know?
It's medicine.
Yeah, was illegal when we were young, you know? Like, it's weird to me. Like,
yeah, it is a little weird.
It gets ingrained in you, you know?
I appreciate it a lot more now.
Yeah.
Because it lets us have a pretty good lifestyle.
100%.
And a good life.
Yeah, it's changed, I mean, drastically. Like,
I mean, I've you know, like, I own Elizabeth Street and I've never wanted it to be a tough guy place. Like,
no.
I am a fucking tough guy.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
But
I don't.
In most cases, if you notice, though, tough guys never act like tough guys, like real tough guys. It's the guys that are trying to put on a facade. There is some tough guys that act like tough guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like, it's always you just got to make sure you're always looking at people's ears. Their ears are all fucked up. Just stay away from those dudes, man. You know.
And like the first tattoo, the shop that I worked in, Merino Valley Tattoo, back in the. Would that be the early 90s? Like, those guys were bikers and they would stab you. And like,
well, it was legit.
If you weren't white, you weren't allowed in that tattoo shop.
I grew up in Hesperia.
Like, this is kind of how it was.
And almost every tattoo shop up there in the later 90s when I started going to tattoo shops was like fucking biker shit.
Yeah, and I didn't want the shop that I was running to be like that. I wanted like my mom or sister to be able to walk in to the shop that I own, get an awesome tattoo, and leave and have a good experience.
Yep.
There was like it's the
one
culture's
shop
changed. It's
up
awesome.
there that was like not. It was still an old school shop in the sense of like had like this culture, you know what I mean? But it's like in downtown Victorville. It was called Tattoo Image. Now it's back when Big Ed used to own it, like back in the and he apprenticed for Jack Rudy.
Okay.
And so there was a lot of talent there in that place, you know what I mean? And that was like more of like an artistic shop, black and gray, real good Japanese stuff, you know what I mean? Like all that kind of stuff. They had a piercer on site and stuff, and just it was a really good shop. Yeah. But until like Art Junkies opened up, in the early 2000s, until like that came around, it was like all the other ones. It was just kind of like fucking old school biker shit or fucking meth shit. You know what I mean? Like, and it was just the evolution of the tattoo industry. You know, it's kind of it's a trip. The direction, it's something everybody wanted, but it's weird to say it's there. Yeah. It's harder, I'm sure, now to tattoo for people and to make money because there is so many shops and tattooers.
There's a lot more competition now.
Yeah, it's just like in industry, it's got its waves, like we've been busy and slow. And
do you think like has the apprenticeship kind of thing like in this new age of tattooing kind of gone out the window, or is that something that's still common?
It depends.
Yeah.
Like I have an apprentice, Clay, but I mean we kind of haze him, but it's not hazing. He's our friend, so we like make fun of him when he's like losing it on a drawing, but we wouldn't do anything disrespectful towards him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that the hazing you sound like you went through is
just that first job, and it was only 2 weeks, and I was like, "Fuck this, I'm out." Yeah, like because I was like getting angry.
It's hard to say where apprenticeships and all that is in the tattoo world right now because the tattoo world is going through drastic changes right now. Yeah. Mostly for the better, Like there's kind of like a twofold thing there where we're seeing more artists actually be in the industry and create like I see tattoos right now that I'm like, damn, I've been tattooing almost 30 years and I see someone under 30 years old making a tattoo that's
they have
really
full art
good.
degrees.
Yeah, like
yeah. People are coming out of art college and going to tattooing.
So you have that, but then the other side of that coin is you have people teaching how to tattoo on YouTube, and you have Amazon selling good enough tattoo gear that you can do a good tattoo with that stuff if you know what you're doing.
And these tattoo
and you have people
schools.
just buying that stuff and then just going for it on their neighbors, and they have no talent behind it. And I'm starting to see some of the worst tattoos I've ever seen. And so we got both sides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and social media feeding it's definitely weird. There's that one where it's like
a whole other world.
I mean, for us, it's really fun to make fun of some of these tattoos we see.
Yeah,
they're terrible.
Wait, but I think too, like there's tattooers out there, especially on social media, that are like doing terrible tattoos for the comments.
Yeah, they love it
because those comments just
the
feed
engagement.
Them. Yeah, the engagement of that. I mean, and you guys all know that one that's just doing like $160 cover-ups or whatever. You know, have you seen? I know Zach's seen that.
I've seen that one.
Yeah.
There's the guy from Scott Campbell's shop in L.A. His name's like Tim or Tom from Texas, or Sean from Texas, whatever. But that guy does he's an amazing tattooer, and he got famous by doing these really shit tattoos. They're fucking terrible. He's like $1,000 an hour or some shit like that.
It's weird, and it's weird to me.
He
like
played the game and he's winning. Huh?
Yeah,
yep.
And some of the styles,
and I know that guy. He's cool as shit.
That's what I mean. He's not a bad dude, and he figured it out.
He's rad.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just like I guess it's they say what it say like art. You know, it's perspective, right? Is that the word? No.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
We'll go with that.
Yeah, fuck it, whatever. I mean, everybody likes what they like, right? And I mean, I've seen some of these weird tattooers like out of Europe or whatever, and they're literally like tattooing like stuff that like a 2-year-old would draw on a piece of paper.
Oh yeah.
And that's like all they tattoo is tattoos like that. Just like, and I'm like, who the fuck wants to get that?
That's the guy I'm talking about.
Oh, really? That's so. Yeah, I mean, but I mean, it is right. It's people's
tattooing
perspective.
such a broad thing. Like, there's only one section of tattooing is like grading it by its artwork. Like when I was stationed overseas, I had all my tattoo work with me, and some of my buddies in Special Forces was there, and we were bored one night, and like they tattooed me. Like the tattoo looks like shit.
Oh yeah, I got some.
But I have this memory and this story.
Oh yeah,
and like so that's part of tattooing too. So it's fucking real hard to grade.
Oh, I agree.
What's a good tattoo and not a good tattoo, and
as long as the person that has it is happy, I mean that's a good tattoo, right? I mean
that's what I'm. That's I believe in that.
Yeah, because there's a lot of styles that I necessarily don't care for, and I'm not saying it's a bad tattoo. Just may not be for me. I don't, you know.
I do want to go on record right now. If you want to see a technically good tattoo, like
that's
literally perfect lines, perfect shading, and perfect color, it's this guy.
Yeah,
like
thank you.
He's not gonna like brag too much because Mike's just not like that. But
us Kirby vacuum salesmen, we don't brag a lot. Yeah, you know.
I'll say I'm a better tattooer than I am a Kirby vacuum salesman.
Like this guy's tattoos are basically flawless. Like,
so what's
really
your specialty style that you go after? Like
whoever's paying me, I'll give them whatever they want.
So you're just an old school walk-in style artist, whatever.
Well, I can't take walk-ins because I am booked a little too far.
No, I just mean like whatever anybody wants, you can do it.
Yeah,
you know that's what I kind of like call
pretty much
a walk-in like artist. You know, some guys specialize.
You know what I cannot do? I cannot do a really good color portrait.
Yeah, those are rough.
Well, I can do a portrait, black and gray.
Black and gray.
All of Mike's tattoos are gonna look like what quote unquote a tattoo should look like.
Yeah.
Like that's what his tattoos are gonna look like.
Yeah. So I want to go back to your origin story though. I got kind of off track here. So about 2008, you got $350 in your pocket, and you're like, "Fuck this place, I'm going back to California."
Yeah.
You put on some Biggie Smalls, and you just started driving.
Probably no. I bought a
Tupac.
I bought a Bob Dylan CD at a gas station.
Love it.
And I listened to it about 30 times because it got stuck in my CD player.
And then you got back to California. Then what?
I got a question.
Yep.
So if you can see Mike, you can't. Like Mike's a pretty in shape guy and takes care of himself and exercises and does jujitsu and all this, goes mountain bike riding. But when I met Mike, if I remember correctly, you were Fat Mike.
Yeah. Well,
were you Fat Mike when you were driving back from Georgia?
Yeah, because I was only back. I got fat in Georgia. You
gotta be careful.
Oh yeah, sweet tea, brother.
It's sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
And $2.50 barbecue spot.
Oh yeah.
Right across the street.
That's no joke out in those other states like that, man.
No.
Sweet tea. You don't even get water out there. You hit the water fountain. Sweet tea just comes out.
So when I left,
that sounds great.
when I left, I was probably 150 pounds. So I was skateboarding every day.
Yep.
In 8 months there or whatever,
Yeah.
I fucking
The Kinkaidas will
ballooned.
fucking eat your
I
skateboard.
ballooned to 215,
Oh yeah.
and I drove home.
Looking swole.
Yeah, but I had gone from skateboarding every day
Oh yeah.
to just sitting on my ass in that shop. Because, like I said, I'd be there from 9 a.m. till like 4 a.m.
Oh wow.
Because they wouldn't let you leave unless they would take. There was lines out the door. For some reason, this shop was just like pumping them out.
Wow.
Which was crazy because it was.
How many artists were there?
5.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did you get paid commission?
I got fucked so bad. They would pay me a check at the end of the week, so I would do like 20 tattoos in the week, and I'd get paid like $200 or $175.
What?
Yeah, but I didn't know any better. I was
Yeah,
so
yeah.
young, and I was just excited to get all the
Well,
experience.
they saw you coming.
Yeah, and then I got 1099, and I owed like $12,000 on taxes, and I was like, I fucking didn't make any money. So I had to learn all that shit the hard way.
Yeah.
Because the commission was 50-50, but they weren't giving me what I was owed, and they would deal with all the money.
Oh, they would deal with the pricing.
If
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of people listening don't know, tattoo shops are really similar to hair salons in the sense of that when you start off, you're a percentage, and then eventually you go to booth rent and so on and so. Brian, you can elaborate on that.
Yeah, that's basically it.
I like the monologue when it just again because I can't see Zach,
Yeah,
so it just
I like
pops in my ears.
He does something weird behind you every time.
It's like real, but it's like real sensual. His voice right now. It's like,
Well, he's whispering.
oh yeah,
He's
it's like
like
that
the
ASMR or whatever.
Don't make it gay.
It's already gay.
Yeah. So yeah, I got super fat, and I didn't even really realize it until one of my buddies was like,
Are you bringing this up, Brian? Because I'm super fat.
Maybe.
Okay, just checking.
well, I'm
You
kind of
look
fat
like
right.
you're doing better right now. I want to give you.
I'm sick on my stomach again.
Yeah,
Go ahead, keep talking.
you're looking tight.
Dude, I put on like 10 once we had my kid, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, I can't get rid of it right now. To
Yeah,
save
that's
my
not baby
life.
fat.
Yeah.
He was already like this.
It came this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So Fat Mike rolls back into California.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even notice it, and one of my buddies was like, "Holy shit, dude, you got fucking fat."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, I did."
a friend
get
right there. It was
fat."
probably Zach.
No, it wasn't Zach.
We did
it does
bump
sound like
into
a
each
Zach
other at Ayala Skate Park, and Mike was still ripping, but he had,
I
it
just
is what it
couldn't
is.
jump
He
as
didn't
high.
float as good.
I like watching big guys do things they shouldn't do, though. It's the best.
Yeah.
Big guys doing like if there's like a big guy like stunt rider doing wheelies and shit, it's always better than a skinny guy doing it.
Oh yeah.
I
You
agree.
know,
Yep, I agree.
because they should not be doing that.
Yeah, I could still nollie heel the pyramid pretty good at that weight.
Yeah, see,
But yeah, I fixed it real quick once I realized. And
I don't have any idea what that skate code talk was right there.
I don't
but
know. I think
Ollie Pyramid.
I was trying to
nose
remember on
wheelie?
Tony when I was playing Tony Hawk Pro
Oh.
Skater. Well, I kind of think I know what you got going.
Yeah,
on.
you guys just play the
Backwards.
game, you'll figure it out
Backwards. He's going this way and then backwards.
Something cool.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
again. Yeah. But yeah, we saw the ad, and I walked in, and Brian was back from Japan. Or you hadn't gone yet, or you were on a trip back. Wait.
When I went back to work for the government,
Uh-huh.
I would just tell all my clients that I went to Japan to tattoo for 3 months. But I'd really be going to Iraq or Afghanistan. and then
Gotcha.
coming back.
Code word.
Yep.
Like when
Yeah.
people go to prison, they say they went on vacation.
He was on vacation.
Yeah. So okay, well, you drove back, you came back, Fat Mike's back, and then you just went straight to the tattoo shop, or
I think I chilled out for a little bit. I was doing like $100 tattoo sessions.
just garage bangers?
Yeah, just trying to make, like, I found a place to live for like $500 a month.
Yeah, those
And
are
if
the
I could-
days.
I figured if I could do 5 tattoos, I could make my rent,
Yep.
and then an extra 3 on top of that would make my car payment,
Yep.
and then if I made another one, then I could have some food.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's how you got skinny.
yeah,
Because I was only hitting 8 tattoos, never had any food.
yeah. So I figured all that out, and then I walked into his shop.
Yeah.
I asked him if I could work there, and back then, and same thing I had to do in Georgia. When you wanted a job at a shop, They don't do this anymore. You had to tattoo in front of everybody.
Oh wow.
You had to bring a friend and tattoo in front of
And everybody
everybody.
just standing there judging you.
Yeah. So everybody knew it back then. Now that's like a foreign thing for people.
That's too much hazing. These kids
It's-
nowadays,
dude,
too much pressure.
It's pretty nerve-wracking.
I bet.
But I was also like kind of cocky because
Yeah, yeah.
I had just
You were putting in work already.
I was putting in work.
Yeah.
And my lines were okay. They weren't as good as they are now.
Yeah.
But brought my buddy Dan in, did a tattoo, and Brian fucking didn't say 2 words to me. And then when it was done, he said, "You're hired, but you fucking suck, and you need new machines." But all I heard was, "You're hired."
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck yeah."
Now this is Inkaholics, though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is when in Moreno Valley,
Yep.
before Elizabeth Street.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was, and you're saying this is March of 08.
Yeah, because it was the day after or before my birthday. I can't remember. But it was right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you've been with him ever since.
Yeah.
And you've been, and then now you've been tattooing professionally since then, basically.
I'd say 07. Yeah.
Yeah. 07, and
Yeah.
since Georgia, basically.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a good run.
Yeah, Elizabeth
Yeah.
Street's not my shop as much as it is. I wasn't talking on this earlier, but it's more of a family.
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah. Everybody creates it.
Yeah, and Mike's one of the like sole creators of the shop. He's been around like almost 20 years there.
Yeah. That's, I mean,
Like I don't make any decision in the shop without going to a couple of the guys in the shop, like a couple of the dudes that have been there from the very beginning. Be
Yep.
like, hey, what do you think about this idea? Is this okay? Like I'm one of the tattooers there. Like we're just a big family.
That's as it should be too. But
Yeah.
one of the things I noticed about as we've gotten kind of closer, and I've gotten closer to like Elizabeth Street, I know a lot of tattooers, but I don't know a lot of guys who have ever stayed at a shop like that. They're always like jumping around, opening their own shop here, selling that shop, moving over to this shop. You know what I mean? Kind of doing their thing. Moving out of state, moving back into. And even when I got tattooed by Jim recently, like he's like, yeah, I've been here for fucking 47 years, whatever he said, like, and I was like, what? Because like I don't know if that's common or not, but I just
No,
never
it's not
heard of it.
common.
I didn't think so because I'm
No.
like, that's a long fucking time. I'm like, you've never done anything, and he was like, oh, like maybe 1 year I went and did this or something, you know what I mean? But yeah, pretty much just been here, and
Yeah,
I'm
we're
like,
gonna get Jim on here too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool to hear, but what that says more about anything is says about the shop. Like this is a place where these guys want to stay. You know what I mean? Again, we're in California. Fucking throw a rock. You hit a phenomenal shop, and they want to stay at this place. And not only start at Inkaholics and move with Inkaholics to Elizabeth Street. I think that's a testament, right? That says a lot to me.
Yeah. Well, we all, like Jim lived in Riverside. I lived in Riverside while we were in Moval. But Moval was just getting like...
Well, I'm from Riverside originally, but
Okay.
my parents moved me out to Moreno Valley, and so I bought a house out there. But we always wanted to tattoo in Riverside, and like a couple of the core people at the shop are, born and raised in Riverside, basically.
Is Moval a shithole? Is that what you're getting at? Like, I don't know
Oh,
anything about Moreno Valley.
Yeah,
That area was...
the
Gotcha.
middle of Moreno Valley.
It's a little nicer now, probably, right? I mean,
It's just
in
like every
some
place.
yeah,
Lonnie's
it goes up
changing
and down,
it.
up and
Yeah.
down. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
'Cause they're
definitely
on-
in the nicest it's ever been right now.
Gotcha.
And there's like really nice suburbs there.
Yeah.
But like some areas are just like where that shop was, it was getting pretty fucking ghetto.
Oh
Yeah.
man, we got some.
There was so crazy there some days.
So when we first opened Inkaholics in Moreno Valley, it was a nice location, and just over the course of 10 years, that area
that
just.
shop was there for 10 years.
I'll have to do some math, but yeah, around that.
Rough, we'll just call it 10.
Well, when do you think we closed that?
We
2011?
closed in 2011.
So
'cause we-
97 to 2011.
And it was, I think it was November 2011 we opened
Okay.
Elizabeth Street.
Should write this shit down.
I was the
we should
last-
record it on something.
I was the last person to work at that shop.
You were.
Oh, Zach, you started at Inkaholics?
I started. Brian when he sold Inkaholics to Jason and Brad. Brian told them, he's like, hey, I know a couple guys that are looking for work, and I was one of them. And so I went to, and then those guys wanted to see some of my stuff. And then I was just learning. I had been tattooing at the house for a little bit and showed Brian some stuff, and he helped me with a couple of tattoos and shit. And then I went and worked at the original Inkaholics, which Brad and Jason changed the name to Inksmith. And so I was still in the original building. I was there for 1 year, and then I got a text message, not hi, not anything at all. I got a text message from Brian that just said, put in your 2 weeks. 1 year to the day.
Well, there you go.
But that was
That's how. Just No bullshit.
2011,
Yeah.
Brian sold the shop to Brad and Jason. I think his name was Jason. And
Is that shop still existing or is it gone?
no,
No, empty building.
Gotcha.
But man, those were some of the funnest tattoo days we ever had in that building.
Yeah.
Because it did get stupid there towards the end.
Just
Yeah.
from the ghetto-ness or from the just
From the ghetto-ness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you bring that ghetto client in, you know, like even
Oh,
though
yeah.
most of our clients came from Riverside,
Yeah.
and the city of Riverside, I think it's changing a little now, but the city of Riverside was making it really hard for tattoo shops to open. So I went back overseas, made a bunch of money, and I came back, and it still cost me $40,000 to open Elizabeth Street. Like,
Oh wow.
the city was like had to hire lawyers and all kinds of shit. And so yeah, we sold the original location and we all moved to Riverside. And so yeah, Mike's been there since pretty much the beginning.
So you 08, 9. I have to do math on my fingers because I'm real good at it. So 3 years you spent at Inkaholics, and again you're just doing walk-ins. You're just
Well, the first year was dead. We were dead in the water pretty much. But so you go 2 weeks without tattooing, and then you'd have a day where you do like 5 tattoos, and then you go another 2 weeks without tattooing.
yeah.
But then that is kind of when I started like trying to figure out how to schedule people out.
Yep.
So I would lie and be
Yeah,
like,
we were a total walk-in shop.
yeah.
And so like there'd be,
And that was kind of the norm then, right?
yeah,
I mean,
there's like 4 of us in there trying to split the people walking in, and like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, no one fucking walks in.
Nobody.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, I can get you in 2 weeks. But my thought was that would give me 2 weeks to make a badass drawing.
yeah.
So that was where I started to try and figure that out. But if you get somebody on like Monday, 2 weeks from now, then the next person, if I somehow got to walk in, like if I needed money or if we were slow,
Yeah.
which we were, but if it was a big tattoo, I would schedule them out so I'd have time to draw it.
Yep.
And then I'd take the little ones, knock them out.
Yep.
And then if another big one came in, I would put it on like the week before or after that. So I know every week I'd have something to do. Because we get bored and I'd just be drawing all day.
Yeah. That's when you start making bad decisions and tattooing each other's heads and shit.
Were we drinking in the shop a lot back then?
Javon, me and Bobby and Javon were somewhat.
We're fine to dime everybody out on this. It's
Yeah.
not a problem.
At that time, I think I had chilled out on drinking a little bit. But every once in a while, I'd start drinking. But I never drank at the shop, really.
That was kind of the fun part, though. It was like that freedom you could have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like even when we had our motorcycle shop, you know, like sometimes, I mean, when I was smoking a bunch of weed, you know, we had a shop bong and you're just fucking high all fucking day long.
Yeah.
You're still getting shit done. Maybe not as good as you would, but, you know, you work for yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like nobody's telling you what the fuck you can and cannot do.
I mean, it's been over a decade before we ran a shop like that, but it was out of boredom.
Yeah.
We're too
Again,
busy
different
and-
times too, though.
Yeah, different
It's
times.
everything's, and we can say in the last decade things have drastically changed. You know,
Since tattooing,
and
went
not
mainstream.
only tattooing, but even like everybody's personas and like the way we all. I mean, fuck, you know, you're not gonna catch me dead fucking high at my shop. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
And I'm not gonna be fucking drinking, you know, before fucking 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. You know,
Yeah.
like it's.
We got to start drinking on this though.
Oh, I got drinks.
No reason not
I got
to.
a bunch of 805 beer they gave us. Did you see it when you walked in? I got to move that fridge up here.
I was trying to make my way through the
Gauntlet of motorcycles.
gauntlet of
I got whiskey too.
motorcycles.
I got a bunch of big frozen ice cubes.
At some point, you got to make us one of your old fashions because you talk about it too
I'll
much.
do it right fucking now.
No, you don't talk about it too much.
Don't
You
fucking
yeah,
tempt
talk
me.
about it more.
Don't you tempt me. Yeah.
I want a story from Mike right now. I think I've
Which
only
one?
heard this one from Bobby, but it's when a client left a little present on a seat.
Oh, yeah.
oh fuck.
So I had it was a walk-in. This lady came in with her daughter, and for some reason in that area, I don't know how to say this without being like
Just be it.
shitty.
Just do it.
But
Fuck
her daughter was like slow.
it. Oh, okay.
So
The '90s word is retarded.
Yeah.
yeah,
Dur, dur, dur.
but the mom brought her in and wanted her to get a tattoo, but she couldn't like talk right. You know what I mean? But I needed money.
Yeah.
And the
whatever.
lady-
And that doesn't mean that she shouldn't get a tattoo if she's
And
over 18. and
she wanted it.
People that are special needs get
No, you didn't have to
tattoos.
hold her down, right?
No,
Yeah,
no.
no.
She
Yeah,
wanted it.
fuck
Her
it.
mom wanted it. They signed the paperwork. She was over 18. And back then, you know, we still do. We like take an ID copy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
it was all good. But like as I'm tattooing her, she's like wearing a sundress, and she's sitting on my chair, and I start smelling.
What was
shit.
she getting tattooed?
Dude, I don't remember that one. The shit took over the whole like idea.
whole
of what
memory.
The only part of your
was,
memory is the shit smell.
It smelled like shit the whole time. It was just a little tattoo. I do remember that on her wrist.
Okay.
So I had her sitting in the chair, and her wrist was on the armrest. And I kept smelling shit, like horrible shit.
What the fuck?
And the mom's just super ghetto chick, just fucking yapping her ear off, like laughing at her daughter. Her daughter's like, she seems happy, but like, I'm like, damn, this is
She ain't
fucking
shitty.
weird. Whatever. She gets up to go to the bathroom when we're all done, and I look on the chair, and there's like a little Hershey Kiss on the chair, and I was like, the mom paid me or whatever, and I was like, Bobby, come here.
So was Bobby an apprentice then?
No.
Okay.
Bobby was tattooing.
Okay.
He was tattooing. I think he's been tattooing the same amount of time as me.
You wished you had an apprentice at that point, though.
Yeah.
Well, Bobby was awesome. I loved working next to Bobby.
Yeah.
Me and him had so much fun. But I was like, Bobby, come here. He's like, what? And I'm like, what is that? And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, smell it. He's like, no. But he gets down there and he's like, God, shit. So she just shit on my chair and took off. Yeah, I don't even know. Dude, it was perfect, too. It was like a little perfect Hershey Kiss.
Did you take a picture of it at least?
Dude, we didn't have cell phone cameras back then. We had the
Get a
little
35 millimeter out and then go pay to have the film developed.
Yeah, and it's still all blurry. Look like a blurry piece of shit.
Yeah. But the clients were like super gnarly like that sometimes.
Is that your worst horror story?
No.
Let's get the good one.
The worst one, I think, is the one I feel the worst about.
Yeah.
This also slow lady came in, but she was only slow because she had brain surgery.
Yep.
And they like cut half her skull off.
Ooh.
So like the front part of her skull, it was like a 4D, like quarter of it was taken out of the front
Jesus.
of her skull. And she talked like,
We'll just use the word slow.
I know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She wanted a picture. She drew me a picture, and it said all these colors, and it pointed. It was just a little sunflower and two little grass things. And it said blue with an arrow pointing to the flower, orange with an arrow pointing to the middle of the flower, green with an arrow pointing to the bottom of it, and then that was it. And she didn't want to look at the tattoo. She wanted it to be a surprise. When it was done, she figured it was all mapped out. It was all perfect. So I'm tripping out because, like, I'm like, how's this lady living, like, with half her head cut off, basically?
Yeah.
And she was super excited. She was getting married. She had a big old rock on her hand, like, talking about her husband or fiance or whatever. Super nice lady. And then she goes over to the mirror, and she looks at it, and she's like, looks all worried. And she's like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Like, fucking berating me, dude. Like, and she was little, too, like, super tiny. So I just saw this cut out of her fucking skull with, like, the skin graft or whatever on it.
Jesus.
And she's so bummed out on the tattoo. And I was like, well, what? You know? And she's like, it's a blue flower. She goes, I never seen a fucking blue flower in my life. What the fuck is this? I'm like, your arrow points. But she wanted the sky blue behind it. She wanted an orange flower. Oh. But the arrow went straight to the center. Like if you do a blue flower, you usually put an orange center because it looks good.
Yeah.
A little traditional tattoo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Yeah.
And dude, I still feel horrible about that. I don't even know if that lady's alive anymore. I don't know how she was alive with that thing cut out of her head. But like,
Well, hopefully she got a hold of the internet and found a blue flower because that's a real thing.
There is
but
many
dude,
blue flowers.
I fucking felt so bad about it.
That sounds to me like that lady just had really bad karma.
She had dude, even when she left, dude, Bobby was dying. Like, dude, her life is hard. Like, you fucked her life up. What the fuck?
She was so excited.
She was so excited. She never had a tattoo before, and you know, I still feel bad about it, but
Oh,
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Maybe
It's
she'll watch
permanent.
this and realize that you still care.
Yeah,
Dude.
you're still thinking about her.
I did. I always have,
Yeah, yeah.
because it's like that's the one that I've always just been like, damn, dude, that one's rough.
Damn.
Because so many bad things happened to that lady. They cut half her fucking skull off.
And she couldn't even get a decent tattoo.
She couldn't get a decent tattoo.
Not even by Mike McAskill. Damn.
The silver lining was she had a big old rock on her hand. She was getting married, so
You're all.
And blue flowers.
You
are
just
real,
give her.
so.
your
blue flowers are real.
And you probably made the tattoo way cooler looking because Sky doesn't look that good in a tattoo.
No.
That's true.
You could have just gave her your business card and said, I do cover ups also.
Yeah, no, I never heard from her again.
Oh, wow.
Obviously,
At least she didn't leave you a Yelp review.
that wasn't around yet, or was just coming up.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think.
How has that been like dealing with, being in the industry, I guess, for so long, like both you guys, and then dealing with like technology coming into play with everything? I mean, there's obviously goods and bads, right? I mean, it's helped branch out, market yourself, find more clientele, like stuff like that. But like, there's also comes with a lot of bads of it.
Well, my theory is, and I think I've always stuck to it, is as long as the client's happy, they're going to send somebody your way.
Yep.
So for me, it like obviously technology helps because people can find you a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But like if you really look at, and Brian could probably say the same, like look at your long-term clients, like they've been there for a long time.
Yeah.
And they bring people and they bring people and they bring people and they bring people. And if you treat them right, they're going to be stoked.
Yeah.
Obviously, people have been able to utilize the internet a lot more than I think I have, but
Well, yeah, you didn't even know your own Instagram name earlier. So
Yeah.
I don't believe you utilized it.
I just
very
didn't know if it was my
He's
full
got a blue
first
check
name.
mark. He fucking.
much. You
knows
pay
this.
for those now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pay for that.
Yeah, that ain't free.
No. Yeah, I just didn't know if it was my like Mike or Michael.
I could remember tattoo or tattoos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I made it too long, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's long. You should change. You have time. You can change it now. Yeah,
That's true.
People will find you. People will find you. So outside of tattooing, what's your get down? What do you do?
I got a shitload of hobbies. But right now I'm just hanging out with my baby mostly, but I ride mountain bikes, go to jiu-jitsu, snowboard in the winter, surf
You guys
in
are
the
both
summer.
vacuum salesmen and
Yeah.
you have newborns right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you we're gonna go do karate in the basement here soon.
Jeez.
Do you like avocados?
Yeah,
Fucking hey.
I
I think
do.
we just became best friends.
What's that have to do with karate?
I don't know.
Oh,
We're gonna do it though.
you have swords?
Yeah, oh yeah, I do actually do.
Mike
Man,
likes karate.
My wife's got like
does jujitsu?
she has a samurai sword collection.
Sick.
Yeah, she's got like 5 of them in her
Start
office.
chopping avocados.
Oh yeah, you can get some watermelons.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't tell you when my chickens died the other day.
Why?
I don't know. It's sad.
Just walk
though.
down dead chicken?
Yeah, kinda.
Did you feed it to the dogs?
Nah, I buried it. I felt all sentimental. It's my first chickens. I told my wife when these 4, because now there's 3, when they die, I'll bury these ones. The other ones get thrown over the fence when I get new ones. Because well, then I'm just feeding them to the coyotes. Everything's got to eat. But yeah, it was kind of sad. She was like, her little crown was orange in the morning, all of a sudden, and by the end of the day, she was dead. Not sure what happened there. I don't know how to do veterinary chicken checking.
There really isn't.
They don't let you catch them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got a sick chicken, and then you're trying to chase it. I don't think that's the best thing to do.
Get it all riled up.
Yeah.
So it dies of a heart attack.
Yeah. Now it's just fucking panting and pissed off.
If your chickens like you, they'll just come over to you.
But these were rehomed chickens, bro.
You get rehomed chickens?
Rehomed chickens, and I think they're just getting old. Because they're a minimum of 4 years old.
That's not that old.
But the chickens only last 5 to 7.
I don't know. Zach, Google it. How long does a chicken
5
live?
to 7. I already
I'm going
googled
to say
it.
10.
Nuh-uh.
This isn't Joe Rogan, and I'm not Jamie.
I don't even know who those people are.
Let's not gloss over the fact that Mike was on Ink Master.
Oh, this is little facts that we're missing out on because we're not hearing the full story.
Well,
We haven't got there
we're
yet.
still on
Yeah.
my story.
We
Yeah.
still are, yeah. So,
Okay.
where did we leave off? I thought we trail off.
Client shit on his chair at Inkaholics.
Yeah.
After he worked there for 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is still at Inkaholics. When the shitty chair bandit is at Inkaholics.
Yeah,
Yep.
the
Okay.
original.
All the
Good stories.
funny stories were there.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah. So you guys closed down Inkaholics in 2011. You moved to Elizabeth Street, and then moved to
Yep.
Riverside, And you name the shop after the street that it's on.
Yeah,
correct?
it's like an old school way to name a shop is either it's the owner's last name,
Okay.
you know, like Bob's Tattoo or whatever. And then, or you take the name of the street. And when I was looking at buildings and we landed on Elizabeth, I was like, damn, that's a cool shop name.
Yeah.
And I ran it by all the guys, and basically no one had a better idea. So
Why didn't you go with Inkaholics? I mean, when you sold that shop, did you sell the name too, or was it
Brian's-
just a new chapter?
Brian's second shop was in Marina Valley too. It was across town, and it was called Rogue Elephant.
yeah, we kind
Okay.
of had two in Merino Valley for a while
Gotcha.
and then we closed both of those and moved to Riverside.
You were just kind of branching out on different names.
Inkaholics is a cool name for the 90s.
Oh yeah. That's
It's like
that's immediately what I think of.
Yeah.
It's a real
Yeah,
90s
yeah.
name, and then
It's a rebrand.
Yeah. Rogue Elephant sounds cool.
that was a fun
I
one.
like that name.
But you know, we got Inkaholics trademarked and all that, and spent a bunch of money so we could do whatever we wanted to do with our branding and name as time went on. And the truth is, if like a big company wants your name, they're just going to take it from you.
Oh,
if
yeah,
you're a
yeah.
little guy, they have their ways of using your name and then keeping you in court for years.
They got
and
bigger
years and
lawyers than
years.
you and more
Yeah.
money to spend from that shit.
And then like the copyright and trademark is only for the U.S., so there started being Inkaholics opening in Europe,
Oh yeah.
and then one opened up in Hesperia.
Oh yeah.
And like I went and met with my business lawyer, and he was basically like, "How much do you even like that name?" And I was like, "It's cool for the '90s, but I'm not in love with it."
Yeah.
And then we just thought it was a smarter decision, just because everything was so new, moving to Riverside. You know, like
Yeah.
just felt like a good time to come up with a new name and just start from scratch.
And Elizabeth, I mean, I like that name. It's even though, I mean, obviously the street name, but it's got, I don't know, it's classic.
Yeah,
Mhm.
It doesn't, like Inkaholics, like you said, it's 90s. Elizabeth Street, that's forever. That just stays that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're at 2011. You're at Elizabeth Street. What was it like? I mean, and that building too. I mean, I really like the building. I think it's got like a lot of. I liked it before. I mean, I even when I first. Let's see. The first time I went there was last year, right before we did the show there, and you guys were getting ready to tear down all that weird area. That it reminded me of like an old, like, I don't know, news reporter type fucking
Yeah.
thing.
yeah. We had old school booths.
Yeah, I thought that was fucking cool, man. I kind of was bummed when you tore that all out. But I mean, I like the open space, but
Group decision. That
yeah,
was a group
is
decision.
what it is. Is what it is. So you moved there. What was that? What was it like moving to that new building, moving into Riverside now? Like,
I think we were pretty excited.
Yep.
And a bunch of my client/friends were stoked too. So like, I think we kind of hit the ground running like fairly easily.
yeah,
Because originally, he kept the Rogue Elephant open for a little bit, and it was just me, Brian, Jim, Dave, Richardson, and
That was it.
And Sadie became our apprentice or your apprentice.
Yeah, but she was still at Rogue Elephant working.
She
there,
was,
too.
and Danny was the shop guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just us in the downstairs area, and it was working out pretty good. And then we lost some people when you shut down the road because there's plenty of space.
yeah.
And everybody came over,
Yep.
and then a few people I don't think they liked the amount of people in the building. I don't know, Brian probably know more about
Each
that.
one of them has their own little fucking story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get them on too and ask those stories.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
You're not getting Janelle on. Good luck.
But yeah, we kind of hit the ground running, and it's kind of been a blur since then.
Yeah.
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 It's been getting more consistently busy and busier and busier and busier.
And what year what did you end up on Ink Masters?
That was 2015.
That sounds about right.
2015.
And
think I left.
How? I mean, I know I've watched it because I've watched
Zach,
every
Google it.
season. Yeah.
You fuck.
Zach, hit the Google.
It might have aired in 2016.
Mike,
Yeah.
we went to.
I get bored and I'll just watch all those seasons.
We went
Yeah.
to the Reno Tattoo Convention, and that's when you realized your back was thrown out. Ink Master was right after that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because
Good job, Google.
I was still in a back brace.
In a full back brace.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't work for a year because I had a back injury.
What kind of back injury?
The,
This is like
Heavy ass vacuums.
It's-
This is a
such
big
a-
chapter in Mike's life, so yeah, we shouldn't gloss over it.
Yeah, well, I mean, a back brace is not a joke. I put my back out and I've never been in a back brace.
Yeah, so we all went, the whole shop went to a convention in Reno that one of Jim's buddies put on, and we know a bunch of the guys over there, like our buddy Tony and Mike and all them.
Yep.
But that place when you go there, you just fucking party.
Yeah.
And it's super fun.
It was great.
We had the best time. But the first day, me and Zach, I think Zach, you drove with me, right?
Yeah, I was in your car.
And you drove me home because I couldn't drive.
Yeah.
But the first day we get there, we had drove 9 hours. I get up for a workout in the morning because all through these years, I had been going over and working out with Brian every morning, or Tobias if Brian was gone. And we were just working our asses
Fat Mike was
off.
only around for like a year.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Fat Steve's been around a lot longer.
And Brian would come back with these fucking gnarly ass special forces workouts, and I'm like, hell yeah! Like I loved it, and I got in such good shape when you were coming back from those.
Yep.
That was really fun. But so I didn't want to miss a workout. No sleep. We partied all night. I get up at like 6. I go do a workout at the gym, and I felt like a weird twinge behind my shoulder blade, and I was like. But I was like 26, 27, something like that.
Whatever. Just got a new muscle.
Well, I was just like, whatever. I'll finish the workout, and then I'm feeling it really bad. Like I'm in a cold sweat, and I'm like, something's really weird. So I was like, I'll go swim in the pool to stretch it out. And as soon as I go like this in the pool, I hear this big pop, and it felt like somebody hit me in the head with a baseball bat. Later on, I found out it was my lat popping from like where it's connected.
It just disconnected
in the
itself?
spine area. Yeah.
What the fuck?
So I tore it.
This is why I don't go to the gym.
This is like a freak accident.
Just kidding. I don't go to the gym.
Yeah,
'cause I'm
that's the
lazy.
reason.
I have learned over the years that it was due to an original hip injury that I had because everything in your body's connected.
Yeah.
And I only learned that by getting the work done, like through the therapy and all that, because when they were working on my back, I'd feel it in my hip. When they work on my hip, I'd feel it in my back. But it's all connected.
Yep.
So I'm like, fuck it. I'll start drinking. I start drinking all day. And we're drinking. We're drinking till like 4 in the fucking morning. Me and Brian, and I don't know who else was there, but I remember me and Brian were like arm wrestling dudes in the bar.
Oh,
and I'm wondering why these fucking fat, lazy fucks are just folding my arm over. Because I'm like, I know I'm not this weak.
Because your muscles disconnected.
Yeah, but it wasn't connected. That's why.
Holy Jesus.
So I'd be like going to arm wrestle, and then somebody just fold me over, and I'm like,
no pain?
no, it was a ton of pain, but I was just like,
Steve, I can't. I don't want to like under this like how drunk we were.
Yeah.
Like, Reno, I've never partied in Reno. Like I didn't like.
It was a ton of pain. Line them up.
We were arm
You're
wrestling,
spinning the
all
hat
fucking night
backwards
in
and
this
shit.
bar.
yeah.
But you know, we like at that convention, like we started having some drinks at like 10 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
And then the convention shut down at 9 or 10. Like they literally shut the lights off.
like
You have to
that.
get out of there.
Yeah.
And then the guys were like, "Oh, let's go." And we had some local friends there, and it's like, "Oh," so we went to the locals bar.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm a California kid. I figure at like 1 or 2 in the morning, like bars shut down. Like,
All night there.
All night, yeah.
No, so we're in there just
It's
getting
the good stuff.
shit faced.
Yeah.
Arm wrestling. You see
Gambling.
everybody walks out in the back. And I'm still from California where you don't take alcohol outside of the bar. That's like a big no-no.
It is illegal to gamble in the streets there.
And so I go out, apparently not. I walk out drunk, like 2 or 3 in the morning. I walk out the back of the bar, and there's like 15 dudes throwing dice.
Oh, yeah.
Throwing
Everybody
hundreds
put in
on the
$100.
floor. Everyone's got a pitcher of beer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what if the fucking cops come down the street? Like, you're fucked, because we were we weren't off the beaten path that much.
Yeah.
But now the bartenders and everything are like, oh, that's normal. It's cool. Just don't worry. It's Reno. The cops got better shit to do.
Yeah.
I like
And so we're partying all night. And then I have tattoo appointments the next day at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
I look at my watch.
How'd those turn out?
I looked at my watch, and it was 6 o'clock in the morning.
Nice.
And I just didn't know that could happen. I thought at like 2 o'clock the bar would shut down, and I'd get home, not get enough sleep, and be fine.
Yeah.
And I couldn't deal with these fuckers anymore because I was lost. So I just walked straight out of the bar and got a fucking cab or an Uber or whatever.
I don't know if you remember this.
I
But
don't. I remember like puking all over
Yes,
the casino.
I remember
one of the nights
Oh man, here we go.
towards the end
This is supposed to be about Mike.
is probably 6 a.m. and we're all sitting in the hotel bar and we're having conversations, and like back then I could drink forever.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
could
yeah.
Brian
Yeah.
or so could Jim. We all
Yeah.
could. But
Not
out
anymore.
of nowhere, Brian just gets up, doesn't say bye or anything. He just gets up, starts stumbling down the stairs and like this. But then he ended up just fucking puking on his way. We're just like, you good, dude? He's like,
Fuck
just
you.
left.
Yeah. Those are the good days, man.
Dude, Brian, all night long. I'm the only sober one there,
Yeah,
too.
Zach was sober.
Zach's the
Zach
only
would
one who can
remember
actually tell you
everything.
what happened.
Brian, all night long, is folding people's arms. People are just like,
Yeah.
"I'll fuck you up. I'm the best arm wrestler." And Brian, they just walk over, and Brian's like, "Oh yeah," and he's just fucking wham.
Yeah.
This dude is Sylvester Stallone over the topping the shit out of everybody. For the rest of the weekend that we were there in Reno, everybody was just like, coming to the convention, Brian, you're the fucking shit. You fucked about it, like all this shit. Brian, nobody could beat Brian in arm wrestling.
No.
Have you gone back since?
Didn't one guy pull his bicep muscle that night?
Everybody got fucked up
Everybody
trying
got
to beat
fucked up.
Brian.
Somebody broke the ankle jumping over the pool fence too.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, Tony, I think Tony tore his bicep, right?
I don't remember that.
Oh,
I want to go to Reno to a tattoo convention.
oh, dude, it
was
was
pretty
so
fun.
It was good for 2 years.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that one's done.
We keep trying to find a good, fun convention to go to. We've gone to one or two, and then we're like, all right, we're going to make that our yearly convention, and then it goes out of business.
And nothing's been that fun.
Nah, a lot of
Not
the,
as much as that
it's
one.
almost
I
like
think it's-
corporate. Some of
yeah, I
the
was gonna
ones,
say,
they're
I think-
nice. Like I
I
don't
think
want
it's all changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that it doesn't seem like, at least I don't really know, but the new age of tattooers aren't there for the party.
No.
You know, it's like you said, like they're never gonna know those old 90s or early 2000s like shitty fucking area, a tattoo shop, you know, stories and of these crackheads coming in and this thing, because now it's like all boutique style.
Yeah, it is
You
boutique
know,
style.
It's changed.
Fucking boring.
Yeah.
I want to. I don't know. What do you think? Elizabeth Street's kind of like in the middle.
We're half and half.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
we
I
still
mean,
have our roots, but we're also there to. So your mom and
when
whoever
I
can come in
hear
and get
Zach
tattooed.
telling me how somebody left the gate open and there's fucking bums trying to bone in the fucking alleyway thing there, what that's
I
good.
think homelessness is everywhere, Steve.
I don't give a fuck. Not where I live.
It's true.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, no, it's good though. At the same time, like you got to have those. You got to kind of have those stories. That's a tattoo shop.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
mean, if it's late at night and our client seems like they might need it, we'll walk them out to their car just because
It's probably best.
it can
Yeah.
be seedy every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably best. It's not the worst area in Riverside, but it ain't the greatest either.
No.
Midtown.
Yeah, that's where tattoo shops should be, though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you want meth, you go to the downtown dirty, shitty ones.
True.
Where is the dirty, shitty ones now?
It used to be in downtown Riverside. I think it was called Heartbreak off University.
Oh, that one was there for a
That
long
was a sketchy
time.
one.
There was
Yeah.
carpet on the floor
Yeah.
in the tattoo shop.
They
That's
just-
not there anymore.
No, not
I
for
don't
years.
think, yeah.
Not for
The
a
carpet
long
or the
fucking
shop?
time.
The carpet
Both.
was on the
Either.
shop. Yeah, either one.
Yeah,
But yeah, they had carpet on where they were tattooing.
that's wild. Where's the worst tattoo shop you ever tattooed in? Or did you always kind of you apprenticed and then just kind of?
Yeah. Moreno Valley Tattoo, which doesn't exist anymore. It's a Rite Aid now. But that was it was a biker shop from the
Yeah.
late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, just the way it was. Walk in.
And we had a liquor store 2 doors to the right and a bar in front of us.
Oh fuck!
And I wasn't even 18. I was like 16, and I would just walk over to the liquor store and buy all the alcohol for the guys.
Wow.
But that was the least of what was going on there. People were doing fucking
Oh yeah.
crack and heroin and fucking
Dude, why they're getting tattooed?
yeah.
Yeah. That's the good stuff though.
Mm-hmm.
That's the good
Yeah,
stuff.
that was a wild little shop.
Yeah. So you got on. You went to you're in Reno. You go on.
Oh,
When
We
people
didn't
whine
finish the
about
whole-
apprenticeship,
Yeah.
my apprenticeship at that shop, I had to stretch the skin for the tattooer.
Ugh.
Like
with no gloves, huh?
Now with fucking gloves on. But talk about sitting there for 4 hours just like that, so the tattooer could be smoking his cigarette.
I would have rather
tattooing at
done
the
the
same
guy's
time.
cigarette. I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, stretching sucks.
Yeah,
It's
I've
like
never.
the worst part of tattooing.
I've only seen them when like other people stretch it when the guys are doing the tapping.
Same thing, but now they're just
Yeah.
making my little fucking ass do that shit. So where we leave off? Ink Masters?
Yeah, you tore your lat
The
off your
readout.
body. You're
Well-
not able to work for a whole year.
Well, during that whole thing, I think if I just stopped partying and maybe rested,
Yeah.
the injury wouldn't have got that
It
bad.
might have been the arm wrestling.
But we had 2 more days of partying.
of championship arm wrestling.
Well, we were drinking just as much.
Yeah.
And then I tattooed a guy there, which was really funny because I tattooed this dude and he was a fucking weirdo. like straight tweaker. It seemed like he brought his girl with him.
I mean, we were in Reno.
Yeah, he brought his girl with him who was a hooker, and he kept calling her his girlfriend, but she kept leaving to go see different Johns, and he would call her on the phone and be like, I'm going to fucking kill you. You get back here right now. I'm going to fucking kill you. And I'm like thinking in my head, like, this guy's really going to kill this chick, dude.
This is Jeffrey fucking Dahmer.
But then he starts saying, like, he starts talking about gay people. He hates gay people. And then Brian out of nowhere is like, oh, you know, Mike's gay. And he's like, he like pulls his arm from me. This. He pulls his arm from me. And then I'm like, yeah, I am. What's up? And because we just saw his thing, and he starts flipping the fuck out, and he just pays me and leaves.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he went and to kill that hooker. Yeah, it was fucking crazy. But the whole time I'm in this cold sweat because my back is hurting so bad, and I'm having a hard time lifting my neck up like that. So that night.
At this point, have you told anybody that your back is all fucked up, or you just like...
I just kept saying, I was like, I think I'm hurt.
I think I need ibuprofen.
You asked me, we're in a second story of a big casino. You asked me, does it feel like the floor's moving to you?
Oh, that was
and
weird.
I was like, man, you're still hungover from yesterday, or something's wrong. But yeah, you've
my equilibrium was
getting
going
all fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah. So it ends up being like another 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm with Zach at the tattoo shop. We'd all tattooed each other. And I'm standing there, and the room starts spinning on me, and it's not like a drunk spin. It was like a weird vertigo deal. And I was like, Zach, you want to get out of here? And Zach's like, fuck yeah. Did we walk or did we take a cab?
We caught a cab because we were hanging out, and like the vibe was right. We were all partying, everybody's having a good time. I had just gotten out of my. So this was 2014 because I had just gotten out of that motorcycle accident. And I was still kind of fucked up too. So I wasn't really like, my body was still kind of tweaked. So I was just like, if anybody wanted to leave, I was just going to hop in the car with them. And so you were like, hey, I don't want to be here anymore. And I was like, well, let's fucking go. And then we walked outside, and we hopped a cab and went back to the room. And then I think that was the last night that we were there.
Yeah. Well, that night I couldn't sleep because I just started seeing these white flashes, which I now know is what a migraine is. I'd never had one of those before.
Yeah.
But the room was fucking spinning. And I was like, in the morning, I was like, Zach, you got to drive me home. I can't drive. I probably should have went to the hospital, but I was so young and dumb and like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still medical insurance. I'm still dumb.
I had medical insurance. Okay. Then, yeah. But Zach drove me 9 hours home, which was like the most painful drive in the world. And my car was stick shift too. And
you were holding on to like the oh shit handle the whole ride home.
Yeah, I never felt pain like that ever.
Yeah, that's wild.
And there were some other things that were going on too that were like kind of affecting you at that time.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that stuff. No, but yeah. But, when I got home, I went to the hospital and they told me I was fine. Like they just did an x-ray and like, oh, you'll be good in 6 weeks. So I wait 6 weeks. I can't go to work because the room never stopped spinning.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And by this point, I can't walk anymore. My head is like stuck down here, and I couldn't pick my head up.
What the
Yeah, and I'm like getting kind of worried, especially after the 6 weeks, and it didn't go away.
The blue flower chick did some voodoo shit on me.
That was, honestly, it's probably my karma from that,
Fuck.
I have a better outlook on that whole thing, the injury nowadays. But, basically, I was in like intense pain for like a year, and then like chronic pain for like 5 years from it.
No shit.
But once I figured out how to make it, once I found the right people who could help me, then I started figuring out what happened. So basically the lat tore, and I got an MRI after 8 months, and they said I had a herniation in the T-spine. Wow. So it's like, I don't remember which one it was, but it was putting pressure on like a nerve, and that nerve was running up over my head, and it felt like somebody had their fucking finger on my nose for like
I remember you telling me about
3 fucking years. It felt like somebody was poking me right here for 3 fucking years.
No way.
And it was driving me crazy. And then the drop steps, like every time I walked, it felt like I was missing the last step. So it was all like nerve problems, most likely, probably from the herniation.
Yeah.
But I had a mound of scar tissue, like probably that big, You could see it through my shirt. So I had to get that all scraped down.
It was just all bulged up.
Yeah. So that's where the tear was.
Yeah.
And then because we were fucking off, I think the herniation happened because the muscle was disconnected.
Yeah.
At least that's my theory. It took a really long time to figure out. But
And you went to a ton of doctors and specialists and all. That was.
I lost my life savings. I lost everything.
No shit.
Yeah.
So you were out of work for a whole year 'cause that, and then, I mean, even going back into work, you're just in chronic pain.
When I came back to work, I worked for 1 hour at a time for a little while.
in a back brace.
In a back brace.
And that's how much Elizabeth Street is a family. Like,
Yeah.
like he was like, "Hey, I can't come to work for like 6 weeks." I was like, "No problem."
Mm-hmm.
And then it was 6 months, and I was like, "No problem, man." Like,
Yeah.
fuck, man. They just
Yeah, you just said,
What do you do?
Your
Yeah,
booth
yeah.
will be here when you're ready.
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
it's a family there. We're not gonna.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta.
Yeah, but it sucked watching someone you care about go through
100%.
that much fucking
That's
pain,
gnarly.
and then just wanted to do something so simple like go to work.
Yeah.
You know, me and him had been doing workouts and mountain bike rides, and going to tattoo
Yeah,
conventions.
you're super
and-
active before and everything.
Yeah,
and
now he doesn't even come into work because he's literally at home just laying on a couch meditating.
I laid on a wood floor
Yeah.
meditating for a year straight.
So what was the?
But
I
the
mean,
mic after that is a better mic than the mic before that.
It is.
Oh,
I
yeah.
fully agree.
Yeah.
I have a better outlook on life.
Well,
Not that I didn't have a bad one,
Nah.
but
Well, where did the new outlook on life come from? I mean, just because you went through that, or what were you doing in the interim to create this new outlook?
it was just you can't appreciate things until you suffer bad.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
life is about suffering
Yeah.
and it's about learning lessons.
Yeah.
So when something really good happens to me, I know something might be like a little downhill down the road, but it's okay because there's going to be another good thing coming around. But it makes me appreciate everything. I can walk again. I can move again. I can do everything again. Like my life was always 100 miles an hour. It came to a full fucking stop, like in a day.
In the biggest little
Technically
city in the world.
3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a 3-day party binge at Reno.
It came to a
Yeah.
complete stop, to a massive like sadness I've never felt before.
Yeah. Crazy depression and shit.
But I know because I've been through, I can get out of anything,
Yeah.
and I can go through anything. Like I'm going to be fine no matter what.
Yeah.
And you don't know that when you're young.
No.
But if you suffer, you'll figure it out, or you won't. And I've seen a lot of people not figure that out.
Yeah.
And go down a really bad path. I went the opposite. I fucking went full clean eating everything at that time.
Yeah.
I don't eat so clean right now, but
Yeah.
I'll get back to it. But I walked into the shop in a back brace. I weighed 140 pounds. And that's from wasting away like
Yeah.
shittiness. I've never been that light in my life. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just weird. It's just life's good, and people need to know that.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, because I mean that could have been easily a different direction. You could have gone
Oh,
into
dude.
pills.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they were giving
Well,
you
they were
pain
handing
pills
they were
and
handing
shit.
me pain pills
Oh,
hand
yeah.
over fist.
Oh,
and,
easy all day.
I realized I don't have an addictive personality.
Yeah, me neither.
But I did catch myself once counting down the minutes until I got to take my next one.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, this is a problem.
Yeah.
And so I tossed them.
Yeah.
And then I didn't realize that those have a come down.
Yep.
So that was that was the darkest part, but it was fine. I figured it out.
Yeah.
Got over it. And yeah, I think the pain pill industry is the most evil thing
It's
that
gnarly.
they've invented.
Super gnarly.
Yeah, that's fucked a lot of people up. In life.
I like pain pills. I don't do drugs, but I do like pain. Haven't done them in years. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it was always something I enjoyed. A
Oh, yeah.
a couple Vicodin, a couple beers.
Yeah,
You feel really good. But it's bad. It's
I
bad
did
news.
like them too.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that I liked them until
Those things will take anybody down.
They will.
Can, for
Yeah.
sure.
I had knee surgery. I got on. They just gave me a shit ton of Vicodin.
Here's a bunch of Norcos.
Yeah, the knee pain was gone, and
Yeah. They don't even
I was
check
still
you.
eating Vicodin. I was like, whoa.
Because I have my legs bolted to my pelvic bone, so I get fucked up back shit.
motorcycle accident.
Car accident when I was a teenager. So now
Hit
I
by a
have
motorcyclist?
No, get behind a car, but I have chronic arthritis because my shit's just bone on bone, right? I've needed a hip replacement for 12 years now, so I can literally just email my doctor, if I wanted to, like my shit hurts.
Vicodin.
Yeah. They'll just be like, oh, here you go. Here's Norco. Like they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They truthfully don't. It's crazy. I mean, I don't do that, but an old version of me would have easily been like, cool. How many can I get?
Yeah, it was just the come down off of them.
It's rough.
I'll never take one ever again just because the come down was so crazy.
Yeah.
I was fucking thinking bad things, like just shit that you don't want to think about. Like
sometimes weed will do that for me.
Really?
Yeah. So I started working for myself in 2017. And like that's when I kind of got my weed card and all this stuff, right? Like weed became a lot easier to get. You just go online and deliver it to your house and shit. I'm like, this is fucking amazing. But there's a real like kind of science to what you should be partaking in, not my dumb fuck ass, going, how much THC content does it have? I want the one with the most, So now I'm getting brownies and shit, and I'm just way overdoing everything. And so I would just lay in bed at night just fucking so high and being like, you're a piece of shit, you can't
That's
do
what weed
this.
does to me.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll maybe take a hit of a joint every great once in a while at, Kernville Camp Out or like these events that we do with some friends. But
so weed does to you what it does to me, where all your insecurities, it's like yelling at you in your brain.
But it didn't do that to me when I was 20.
No.
When I was 20, I was like, fuck yeah. This is awesome.
But there's two types of people. Yeah. Me and Brian were talking about this. He's like, oh, weed does that to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, weed just makes me more awesome. Like start off awesome, then I smoke some weed, and then I'm just more awesome.
Then I finish off awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be thinking all the bad thoughts about myself.
Yeah.
And like on a regular basis, I don't think like that.
No.
But if I smoke even a little bit, it'll be just like that. Like you're the biggest piece of shit on the planet.
I got to do it around people, like when we're in like an activity, like not just like, oh, you want to, it's like we got to be doing something and I'll be all right. I'll take like one hit or something and then I just get a little happier, you know what I mean? I did experiment a little bit with like microdosing mushrooms a little bit. I've always had a negative brain, so I'm like, I don't want to do hallucinogens. Like, I don't want to see demons in the carpet, but like I experimented a little bit with microdosing, like taking like three of the
carpet almost looks like it's got demons in it.
It could. This would be a bad news for me.
Yeah, these would be moving for sure.
And so I'll do that every once in a while, and I just it definitely like I feel like a little happier. Mm-hmm. Colors are a little bit more vibrant, and I laugh.
Yeah.
But I maybe do that once a year.
I won't even touch weed anymore. I haven't touched it since 22.
Oh yeah, I haven't. I mean, I would probably maybe once a year if I'm lucky. It's I have a bunch.
I'm super high right now.
Oh, you want to get higher?
I can barely
I'll watch
walk.
you. Yeah, my friends have a weed company, so and they do stuff like sponsoring with us. So I have a bunch of weed in the house, but I just like the smell of it still. I'll just crack it up.
Yeah.
Close it up and put it back in the cabinet. My wife don't smoke either, so I just keep it, or I give it to my neighbor. He likes it.
Is it incense?
Yeah.
Weed incense. I'm sure that's around.
I'm sure it is. Yeah. So all right, back off track. Okay. So now we're back injuries healed, and we're going into Ink Masters.
Well, I wasn't healed yet, but they had called me for a couple seasons. Because the guy I apprenticed under, the good apprenticeship, Brant.
Yep.
He hit me up, and he was like, "Hey, there's this. It's Master versus Apprentice on Ink Master.
Yep. Okay.
They're gonna call you, and like, he was like, play it up. Just say I was the biggest piece of shit in the world. Blah 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 blah. Like, we'll fight on there." And I was like, okay. And it didn't end up going through. For some reason, Brent had told me that he had complained about the food situation there or something. He's like, or the payment. I can't remember what he complained about, but it cut it off. So then they called me for the next season, and I was like, no. So actually, that call might have been before the back injury.
Gotcha.
So whatever season that was.
Yep.
And then they called me the next season, and I was crippled. So I couldn't, I was like, I can't fucking move out of this bed. And then they called me the next season, and I think I was still in the back brace, but I was like, yeah, I'll fucking do it, So however the seasons line up, that's however many, but they had kept calling me for some reason.
Yeah.
And, but I think they wanted my back injury story, Because when they bring people on, they want a story for the person.
Yeah, it's drama.
And they want to tell the story. But when I got there, because they're like, will you talk about this? And I kept saying, yeah. But then when I got there, I was like, I ain't going to act like no fucking bitch. Like, in my brain, you know, I still had that stupid fucking mentality of like, same mentality that got my fucking injury so bad.
Yeah.
We need more of that mentality.
Yeah.
I was like,
shit. It's good.
They're like, how'd you get there? And I'm like, doesn't matter. This ain't tattooing. You know, like shit like that. Yeah. I just kind of locked up, but I think probably because I don't know, my mentality was just different.
What's it like being on like a show like that, like cameras, these interviews and like shit like that? Is that fucking wild?
It was pretty surreal to me.
Yeah.
So there's a couple things that happened. My dad and my brother have worked in TV for a long time.
Okay.
And my dad was like, do not fucking be like you. Because you'll be destroyed. Like, America will fucking get pissed.
Oh, wow.
Just from stuff I would say. Because I was a really hyper kid. And I like to say things for a reaction.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
Yeah.
But it was like, I was really worried about my career, especially because I hadn't worked in so long.
Yep. So
I kind of locked up, and I didn't say anything. Like, they would be like, when the lights are on there, like they'd be like on the couch scenes, right?
Yeah.
That's what they want.
Yeah.
So we're all sitting.
That's where
on
all
the
the drama
couch.
happens.
Yeah, but there's like a couple producers over here, and they'll ask somebody. They'll be like, "Hey, what do you think about this person's tattoo?" And then everybody be like, "Oh, that one sucked. That one sucked. That one sucked. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah,
blah blah." And then they'll bring the guy in, and they'll be like, "Okay, tell him what you just said about his tattoo." So I kind of caught on to that pretty quick, and I just be like, "Yeah, it was cool."
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't participate.
Yeah.
So basically,
They didn't like you.
Yeah, I wasn't
You weren't
vocal enough.
Yeah.
So I kind of sat out a lot of it, and I think that's what gets you.
It does 100%.
Yeah.
They want you to be.
It's a show.
It's
TV show.
drama.
It's entertainment.
Yeah. Nobody is gonna know who Orange County Choppers was if fucking the dad and the fucking son
Yeah,
were
if they
throwing
didn't argue,
wrenches at them, each other.
yelling
You
at
know,
each other all the time, yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
There's only a few shows I've ever watched, like shows like of that kind of genre that are like, this is a fun show because they don't put a bunch of drama in it. You can tell that they're intervening situations, but it doesn't create drama.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch the drama. I don't fucking care about that. I'm not saying I haven't watched every season of Ink Master. I have, just because I like tattoos and I like to see them. And it's actually kind of fun to watch like season 1 and then like whatever season they're on now, you know, number 97 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the tattooing considered the best in season 1 is gnarly.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, the client's kind of like one of the. We'll get too off. Well, that's all we're doing is getting off topic.
That's what
back
we're
to
doing.
Technology, like the clients now, they know better. You know, the ones that want to do a little research. If you got a little bit of a brain, you can do some research. And
the craziest thing that I see on that show is the clients or the canvases, as they call it, not working with the artists for one.
So that to me
is set up.
Was tripping me out.
Some of it has to be
It's
set up.
It is.
Yeah.
So
or coached. I think that's probably a better
I think
word.
they're coached.
Yeah.
So they keep us pretty in the dark.
Yeah. Of course. That's what creates the
And
drama.
I don't have any proof of anything behind the scenes. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, from my perspective, they tell them in the back, this is your time to shine.
Yeah.
Get what you want.
Yeah.
So if they tell me an idea and then I draw something a little off and they're just like,
or
nope,
time constraints or things of those
and you're stuck
nature.
in a time constraint.
Yeah. Everything.
I don't know how it works now.
Yeah.
But back then, you have 6 hours. They feed you lunch right before that. And you get like an hour and a half or something like that. And then you get like the 6 hours of tattoo. But I think it's in that time. Like you got to eat and start.
Yeah.
But I had a couple of people, like one guy was just like, he fucking wanted this tattoo like this big on his ribs.
Yeah.
Done in 6 hours. And I was like, bro.
It's impossible.
That's not going to happen. And he fucking fought me with it. And then he took off for an hour in between because when he came back, he said he passed out in the bathroom. And I was like, what the fuck? but I don't know if that's real or not.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So
I see what you're saying.
he's a weird guy. He's the guy that brought his alien. He came to the shop with his alien after.
Like years later, he hunted Mike down and came to the shop
Yeah.
and brought an alien,
Brought an alien
like
with
doll
him.
with him.
Yeah.
Did he give it to you, or was he like his
I
companion?
tattooed him again on the redemption episode.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So how many seasons were you on?
Just one season.
Oh, one season. Okay.
And then you're under a contract. You can refuse it, but it's
Yeah.
like when they have a redemption show or they can call you back and you can refuse it, but
Yeah.
basically like you don't want to, because on the redemption show you have all the time in the world
Gotcha.
to do something nice.
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
let you kind of redeem
And
yourself.
regardless, it's good for your career at the end of the day being on the show. A lot of people
that's-
watch it.
That's what I didn't realize being there.
Yeah.
If you're on the show, people like it. Your clients especially, they're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
holy shit, that guy's on that.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know?
that's my tattooer right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
even when I went, there's so many tattooers were like, you fucking sell out, blah, 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 blah. And I just didn't even give a fuck about that, because it's
You
like,
can't.
but now I've seen same people like that, like
Oh, yeah.
congratulating somebody that's on it now, because
Yeah,
it's culturally way bigger.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, what else is out there now for those shows, right?
That's
That's the show.
the show.
That's the
That's
show. I
the
mean,
number one.
They have top artists, judges now. You know what I mean? They have top people in the industry. I mean, it's the show.
Yeah.
It's a cool show. You know,
Everybody loves it.
I like it.
I
watch
haven't
it.
met many people that haven't loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to watch
Yeah.
season one, and then go into a new one. It's great.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it was a fun experience.
Yeah.
And if
How many-
I'd say if anybody, because everybody says like, oh, I got called to do that. I got called to. It was like a year casting process.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter if you got called or emailed. Like you have to go through the whole casting process.
Wow.
Like I said, that was back then.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works now.
Yep.
But it's just funny. It was a very surreal, very fun. It felt like tattoo summer camp to me.
Yeah.
I met some cool people.
Good. It's quick too, right? I mean, your guys are tattooing every day for.
No.
It's not every day.
I was there 2 months,
Okay.
and I went out our season started with 30 people, and then we had a tattoo to make it in the house.
Yep.
And I think I did pretty good into that, because it was split into teams, so I was chosen second after the girl who won it. And then, yeah, I went out like top 10 or whatever. So I kind of did shitty. I wasn't tattooing like me, but I also hadn't tattooed in a year, and I was still in a back brace. But
Yeah.
it's a curveball who you get.
Yeah, that's the
You
rough
know what I
part.
mean?
Like, I mean, that's kind of like one of the things I always watching and like taking into perspective. Like these people, you got a short period. I mean, the way they portray it, you meet with the client. Sometimes you have an hour to draw. Sometimes you have overnight to draw, and then you have this little tiny window. And these people, like you said, want this elaborate thing. Sometimes they don't understand.
I remember
time constraints. You know.
Yeah, there's a funny thing while you were on that show, because we're an old school shop,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
we always drew paper, tracing paper and a red pencil.
Yep.
Oh,
For the most
yeah.
part, we drew everything.
Yeah.
And when he got there, everyone was on
Everybody had
iPads. And we didn't even really know what a fucking iPad was.
Yeah.
And so he drummed some money up, if I remember correctly.
I bought one there. That was the dumbest fucking move I could have done, because I didn't know how to use it.
Oh yeah.
So it was slowing me down.
Yeah. How funny. And you
But
know,
drawing old school style,
Uh,
like we were back then, it was so much
Yeah, yeah.
slower than what you can mock up real quickly
Oh,
with
it's
with
crazy.
an iPad.
Yeah.
yeah.
Me and one other guy, that guy Boneface, he was on there. Me and
yeah,
him
yeah.
bought him the same day, because we were talking like, what the fuck? Because he would draw his shit too, and we'd be like, do we need to get these? And he'd be like, I'm buying one right now, and I'm like, me too.
Yeah. Fuck.
I just put it on my credit card,
Yeah.
and because all my money was gone.
Because you had worked.
So that's the duality of life thing. Like I
Yeah.
just went from this year of shit to like, I have this opportunity to turn it around.
Yeah.
I did not capitalize on it, but
Well,
it worked out in my favor.
yeah, that's what I
anyway.
mean. Like, yeah, maybe you could. I mean, I got to remember the season. I have to watch it again now, but maybe you could have done better, whatever. But what if you top 10's not.
No, his tattoos were
Yeah.
fucking good during then. He got kicked off because he doesn't cause enough drama.
Yeah,
Like even on if you watch and you get to where they show the tattoos and you can clearly see who should go home.
Yeah.
And then they picked Mike. You're like, Oh, okay, a little politics.
Me and my
there.
wife will sit there and watch it,
Which is
we'll,
fine.
We'll
It's
pretend
just-
we're judges and shit.
Yeah.
That guy should have not fucking that one was way worse. You know, like it's
That's the fun part of the show for people.
Oh, it is.
I think
it is.
Yeah.
I mean, we watch it just because we like to see the tattoos, plain
Yeah.
and simple. You know, the only thing that I did not like is I think it's the last season I watched. And I just thought this was fucking crazy, and I think it's just because it's that old school mindset, right? Like when I started getting tattoos, nobody's tattooing your hands unless you had sleeves.
Yeah.
Nobody's tattooing your fucking neck unless you had fucking sleeves.
They just start now.
And they had one of the challenges was tattooing people's fucking faces. And dudes didn't even have any fucking tattoos. And they're fucking just getting fucking face tats.
Which is
Well,
so
the-
crazy from their side too, because you don't know who you're gonna get.
No.
You could get the shittiest person in the whole group to tattoo your fucking face with all the pressure.
Yeah.
And they just
It was wild.
crazy.
I
We
I
all
was just
know if
blown
you
away
have-
by that.
If you have your face tattooed, I'm sure there's some small exceptions so we can think about them. But for the most part, if you have your hands tattooed or your face and you're not heavily covered in tattoos, like you're just a dork.
Yeah.
Like you're lame.
Yeah.
Like and we might look at you and smile and like do that tattoo for you,
Do the
but
thumbs up.
yeah,
Good job, bro.
we think you're kind of fucking
It is.
kind of lame.
fill
Like,
up the body first.
Yeah.
Then if you want to, go for
Yeah.
it.
yeah,
That's
Just
been like
don't
the
come get your
weird-
hand first or your face. Like you just
That's been like one of the weirder things I think too is like the tattooing has like really evolved. It's like a lot of that tradition stuff is fucking gone.
It's dead.
Yeah. Nobody cares about it. Nobody, you know, it's a bummer, and it's
just
and
changed.
it's in everything. It's not just
Yeah, it's
this
just-
one
yeah.
thing, but
It's
the world
everything.
changes. It's fine. I'm sure
Yeah.
at some point, I'm sure when you go back, someone got mad that the neighbors didn't own a horse and only had a car.
yeah.
You know, that fucking dork doesn't even have a horse. You know, like
you got to have 6 horses before you can get a car.
yeah, you have 6 horses before you get a
The
car.
first
So-
guy with a wheel.
Yeah.
Fucking walk, bro.
Yeah, you fucking lazy
Yeah.
bastard.
So yeah, like I don't know. I just think it looks. I think all of us just think of like there's the traditional part of things, but
Yep.
that stuff comes and goes and changes. It's fine. You just kind of you look silly.
Yeah.
Like if you're standing there and shorts
Yeah.
and you have a hand tattoo and a neck tattoo,
Yeah.
it just looks silly.
It is.
That's
It is silly.
You
Silly.
look,
Yeah.
you look insane.
It's
Yeah.
like insane clown posse.
Yeah. It looks
Like most people are getting
crazy.
tattooed so they look cool. Like you're
Yeah.
not doing that.
No.
Yeah.
I got tattooed, I think, so I could go buy alcohol without getting carded.
That's smart.
That was the
Nice
best.
tattoo.
That would have
Yeah.
probably worked out pretty good.
Yep. I had a sleeve by the time I was 19. I was in the bar. Because at that time, it would get no TV show. This is
Yeah.
fucking, this would have been 2001.
Mm-hmm.
I had a full sleeve already. Nobody ever carded me. So I was just in the bar all the time. You know what I mean? Like
This thing's working.
Yeah, it worked great. I remember this one time we were in Havasu for like Memorial Weekend, partying and stuff. I had to be 19, 20 years old. And, we're on the London Bridge side, so we're on the Arizona side drinking on the fucking beach, and the fucking, we met some other fucking dude, whatever. We're all just partying, listening to music and shit. And the fucking cop rolls up on me and taps my shoulder. And I fucking got, beer in my hand and shit. I turn around, I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm fucked right now. And he goes, get that guy. And it's like one of these dudes that were like next to us that we're just like partying with. Fucking boom, lock him up because he's fucking under 21. And I had a full sleeve, so I'm like, oh, it saved me again.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, poor dude got fucking locked up on whatever Memorial Weekend, Labor Day weekend bullshit.
3
we were
whole
on.
days probably.
Yeah, just dumb shit. But yeah, it was the funniest shit getting tapped to get somebody else that was underage. I'm like, I'm good. Just kind of walked further out into the water,
I gotcha.
Yeah, leave me alone.
Later.
Fuck. Yeah, no, I'm good. So you did the Ink Master.
That was a big. There's like mile markers and everything. But
Yep.
I remember when Mike came back from Ink Master,
He was a different person.
and he was like,
bigger chip on his
everybody's
shoulder.
using iPads, and then all of us in the shop slowly followed suit.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had to. Like Mike,
Yeah.
Mike brought iPads to Elizabeth Street, which sounds funny, but he
Yeah.
did.
Well, it's
'cause-
funny because we were all so late.
Oh yeah, yeah
By like
yeah.
2 years.
We're doing our own thing, man.
Yeah, we
It
were
was
like,
like-
and we were doing fine.
The
Yeah, yeah,
iPads was a big one, and then like, regardless of however you feel about it, like some of the pen machines, that was like the second big mile marker.
Yeah, that was the other thing too. There was only a
Nice.
couple people with coils, me included, and I honestly didn't move to. I still use coils, but I use a pen machine now
Yeah.
as well. But then I was tripping out because these people were coming from all over the country.
Yeah.
I just stayed in my little bubble with us because it worked fine.
Yeah. You're
and
making
it's
money.
fun, yeah.
You-
And even if we did stay like that, I think we'd still be fine because
of
I
course.
can tattoo just as good with a coil as I can a rotary machine.
And without an iPad.
And without an iPad.
well, because you can draw.
Yeah.
See,
But that's from all the years of putting in that work.
That's
you
the
know?
difference too, though. A lot of people have never had to put in that walk-in work.
Yeah.
Again, it's where tattooing has changed now, right? You know, these kids, they'll come into the gate just. This is what I specialize in on day one.
Yeah.
I want to do manga or whatever that, you know, Japanese like fucking cartoon shit's called. You know what I mean? Like they only want to do this one style of tattooing, and that's fine. And they create their Instagram that way. Their marketing is all that one way. You know what I mean? And they move forward. They get clientele, and they, you know,
Yeah,
fucking these guys
it's
are booked
great.
out fucking a year all of a sudden.
Well,
You know,
You just said it right there. There's marketing involved.
Yeah, yeah.
Where it used to be like we were just
no, you
some.
waiting for somebody to walk in and say they want a fucking tattoo.
It was just we were hanging out. We weren't trying
Yeah.
to have a serious fucking job. And,
Yeah, yeah,
and we
yeah.
enjoyed. We just like making tattoos.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
degenerates.
Just like making them. Yeah.
You guys are degenerates.
I love tattoos from the first time I seen them.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all I wanted to do. And at that point in my life, money didn't matter that much to me.
No, just as make enough to get by.
Honestly, I think I was late to
to the money game.
money. You know, I was like, well, I never cared about money.
Yeah, yeah.
Ever.
It's a good thing to not care about.
It is and it isn't.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen it both ways. I've seen people care too much.
Yep.
And it destroys them. And I've seen
100%.
people care not enough, and it also destroys them.
Yo.
I think I didn't care. I didn't care until the injury, until I lost my life savings.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
the first time I cared about money, because you can't do shit when you got no money.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that'll fuck you real good.
Mm-hmm.
And what was your life savings? Was it decent?
It was.
Mine's like $4. So
It was good enough. It was decent for a 26-year-old.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It was enough to be devastating.
yeah. That's crazy. I never had
I
something
have
like
like
that.
10 times more money saved up than you.
$40. Killing it.
You are good with math.
Yeah, if we combine them, we can go get a steak dinner. One steak dinner, maybe.
At the right place.
Stierenstein.
Are those still around?
There's one Sizzler.
There's
opening.
one in Asperia still, or
Paradise.
Victorville. Yeah, yeah. I went there actually in
Stierenstein.
December. I took my daughter and my son to a Christmas dinner there. It's terrible.
You can go to the Steak and Shake, probably.
Oh yeah, it's probably way better.
Yeah. It's cheaper.
I've never been to a steak and shake.
I haven't either.
Yeah, we
What
should
about
go.
the sire?
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, the
That'll
Sire's,
be more than $40.
Sire's
probably.
amazing
Yeah,
though.
yeah. I go to the flat top grill up here.
All right.
It's way more.
In
than
your
$40
side by
though.
side?
Nah, that's too sketchy. I would try, but we already got. Yeah, we got too many issues out here already. Yeah, I don't want to get into that in case they're listening. But okay, so now we're done with Ink Master. We brought iPads to Elizabeth Street. Where do we go from here?
We've just been trucking ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the story. That's
That's
it.
the story.
Yeah.
Wow.
As far as major life events go, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Having
good.
a kid.
Had a baby, yeah.
How many babies you got? One.
Just one.
Just one.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's good. Babies are good.
Mm-hmm.
Babies are. That's how the world gets better, right? I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
If the right people are having babies.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that experience been like for you? Tattooing, having a baby.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like mad at myself that I never wanted kids.
How old are you now?
39.
Oh, you got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you do.
Yeah. Well, I'm mad at my younger self because I just never wanted them, and then when I met my baby, I'm like, oh my gosh, dude,
Changes you.
This is so cool.
Changes you.
Yeah.
You know, it's. I think that's why I got teary eyed when my chicken died the other day. I don't know. It changes you for sure.
Yeah.
Here's what I always like look at. Like when you were before children, you're watching like a movie and like something happens to a kid in the movie. And you're just like, fuck that kid. You know?
Well, you got no emotional attachment.
Yeah,
to
zero.
it.
Now anything happens in a movie to a kid, and this kid could be 40 years old, and the dad, you know, is 80 years old. I get all.
Yep.
There's
Turn
this
it-
movie.
Turn it off.
Yeah, there's this movie I watch all the time, like one of those movies you just put on called Tomorrow War.
Oh, that movie's good.
It's real good
Yeah.
with Chris Pratt. You don't watch movies, huh, Brian?
Yeah, I was just thinking I'm not. You just said like everyone does, like put movies on
Yeah,
and
yeah.
watch them over. I mean, I feel like that's how I treat music.
Okay, see,
But,
I'll just put movies on when I'm in the shop and just let them
Yeah,
play.
I have friends that do that.
And so it always makes me think of my daughter when I watch that movie though. And every time I've fucking probably watched it 20 times. Every time I go, I just get like a little like, oh man,
Little
'cause
something.
Yeah, kids fucking change you for sure.
Yeah.
It's great though. I mean, Yeah, they're fucking wild, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's especially when I think it's better when you're older.
I think I'm a lot more patient.
Yep.
I think I had to go through all that stuff to be like a good dad, you know.
Yeah. Did it make you think about mortality?
When I had my kid,
Yeah. Because your baby's
yeah,
only like a year old, right?
she's 7, almost 8 months.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I met your baby once. Because it made you think about mortality, though, huh? That was the weird.
Well, I now know I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you understand that sooner now than you were when you were in your 20s.
Dude, honestly, the back injury made me think about mortality a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never had a huge injury like that. I've had like my hip bolted, but that was 2 weeks of laying in bed when you're a teenager because of fuck.
Yeah.
You
I think because of I had such bad chronic pain for so long.
Yeah.
I think I was like, how the fuck am I gonna live with this going on if it gets any worse, you know?
Yeah.
Because it was consistently getting worse for about 3 years, and then it started tapering back.
What was the fix to this, though? You said you found...
Well, at that time, Brian had herniated disc in his lower back maybe a year before that.
Yep.
And...
Yeah, that's about right.
You found foundation training?
A cool thing about being in, I'm sure this is a lot of industries, but we get to meet a lot of people and have long conversations with them for hours, and then a lot of times get to know them.
No, I know who. Oh no, I found Dr. Higuera.
Yeah, you found the ART doctor, and I found
your guy found foundation training.
Yep. So our clients helped us.
Yeah.
Brought us different people to go see outside of the network system of county, city, and hospitals and Kaiser.
Yeah.
They're just there they're great for fixing bones and just not preventative care or caring really how to fix an old injury.
Yeah, as long as you're injured, the more money they get.
Yeah.
So I found this guy, and he did a thing called ART. It's called active release treatments.
Okay.
And we both went to see him for the first session.
No, you went without me. And came back and like, this guy's awesome.
And I was raging about it. Yeah. So it's like a muscle thing where he's like, basically, like my shoulder was frozen for a while. He had me lay on my side, and he stuck his whole fucking thumb in the back of the shoulder socket. It hurt so fucking bad. But as soon as I got up, dude, I had full range of motion. I was like, what the fuck is this? So active release was a thing that all these sports players they had access to, but it wasn't more known to the mainstream. I think it is now.
Yeah.
But back then, it wasn't. So I found that. He basically told me not to come back, just keep working out. Started foundation training, which is like a lower back fixing workout.
Stretching routine.
Strengthening, stretching routine. I also started getting Graston, which is where they take this metal thing and scrape the scar tissue.
Yep.
So I did that for like a year, and I got the scar tissue mound down. And then I went
just all on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And then I started getting myofascial release, which is like a little bit deeper.
Yep.
And then I was basically working to buy deep tissue massages 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And I was just breaking up the tissue and breaking up the tissue and breaking up the tissue. And eventually the skin stopped lighting up. So when you break the tissue, it starts getting red and splotchy. There's a name for it. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
But sometimes it'll bruise up, and you're breaking that scar tissue, and you have to stretch. So when you stretch, that fascia and the muscle starts to get back to normal. So I just kept having to break it down. And then eventually the mound was gone, and I had more motion. I'm still pretty stiff, like my mid-back, but it's not like it was.
Are you still doing like the stretches and things like that, or are you just?
I still trying to keep on top of it. It's. I don't have.
He's not doing anything right now. He's got a baby.
That is true.
You know how it is.
I don't have the chronic pain there anymore, though.
Yeah. That's wild. Though.
Yeah.
It's crazy what is available like medically like that. That's kind of.
Well, that's the thing. The medical industry doesn't want you to know any of that shit.
No, fuck no. They can make no money off you.
They fucking didn't help me at all. I do not trust doctors.
I don't even know why I pay for insurance at this point. I haven't been to the doctor in years.
I haven't been in like to a real doctor since then.
My wife keeps telling me I need to go get my prostate checked, and I don't want to
We can do that in-house.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, I got some gloves too. We'll just get that taken care of today.
I was in the military.
Just
It's
have
fine.
her check it.
Yeah, right. She's like, yeah, you should go do. You're getting old. You need to go do that. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Like you wear a watch. What was that?
Yeah, I don't know. I was looking at the time. I don't want to do that. That's why. And then now they keep pushing the year though. They're saying like you don't got to get checked till like 55.
It's because they want you to have cancer before you come check.
Bingo.
Hmm.
We're gonna go down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole real quick here.
It's not a conspiracy
It's not.
theory.
That's
like,
real.
Yeah, that's true. Huh? Yeah,
we
yeah,
all know
yeah,
the
yeah.
hospitals make money off of us.
Yeah, yeah.
make money
It's
off our
super
health.
sketchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm not gonna have some fucking doctor put their fucking finger in my asshole.
I had mine checked when I tore my groin.
Ugh.
Because
Is that a self-examination?
no, it was terrible.
Did they lube you up at
Zach's
least?
laughing at
Yeah.
us over here with all his surgeries and medical
Zach's
problems.
Yeah.
poked and prodded. more
I
than
get
all
them
of us.
checked all the time.
You-
Not
you-
just by the homies.
You just go to the massage parlor and have her check you now. These two.
I'm here for the medical exam.
I'm here for the rub and poke.
Yeah, you guys sound like
Oh.
a bunch of fucking pussies.
Yeah, I'm good though. Yeah. Well, Mike, where can people find you if they want to find you on Instagram?
Mike McAskill tattoos. Zach?
With an S or without an
Zach,
S.
will you
It
Google
doesn't
that?
fucking matter.
Yeah.
Just if you start typing that shit, it'll pop up.
We'll
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to put a caption. We'll put a caption
Yeah.
with it. Yeah, yeah, good. And then you're at Elizabeth Street
At
Elizabeth
EST
Street, yeah.
Riverside.
at EST Riverside.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, if you want to get tattooed by Mike, hit him up.
And Brian Foster, Old Blue Ink on Instagram.
And Zach.
No. I'm not doing that.
Zach Peacock. Is it Zach Peacock?
And
Zach
then
Peacock.
Speaking Cycles. At Speaking Cycles. Is there underscore in there?
Yep, somewhere.
Perfect.
All right.
You can find us places.
Yeah, find us places. All right, man. Well, thanks, Mike. We
Thank you
appreciate
so
man.
much.
It was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, till the next one.